What up, everybody? What up? What up? What up? What up? Welcome to episode 2 of We Need That. We Need That is our fall and winter series here at the Black Gay Agenda. And we're going to tell you what we need. And today we need cancel culture. And we are here with our very special guest, Ernest Owens. Before I get into that, though, okay, before I get into that, make sure that you give us a rating and a review, all right? We have all of y'all who listen to us every single week. So the least that you could do is go ahead and just give us a rating review. Let us know
At
what you think about the
least.
podcast. All right. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and all of those things. Now that we got that out the way, Alex, I am going to hand it on over to you.
What's up, people? Glad to be back. Y'all know what it is. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do the honor and introduce our guest. So I'm excited to do that. Our guest tonight is Ernest Owens. Ernest is an award-winning journalist, media personality, and unapologetic advocate for the Black queer community. With a sharp pen and an even sharper mind, Ernest has become a leading voice in both the world of journalism and activism. As the editor at large for Philadelphia Magazine and a contributor to outlets like The Advocate and Essence, Ernest uses his platform to challenge norms, break barriers, and spark critical conversations about race, sexuality, and culture. A passionate speaker and leader, he's dedicated to creating spaces where Black queer voices can thrive unapologetically. Ernest's work isn't just about reporting the news, it's about making the world better, more inclusive, and more truthful. Welcome to Ernest Owens. Thank you for being here and welcome.
Thank you for having me on. I'm excited. This is my first time on the Black Gay Agenda. I remember seeing a
Yeah.
marketing for it on my Instagram timeline. I was like, "What's that? That's bold. That's different," you know. So yeah, I'm happy to be on.
We are definitely happy to have you here, and we're going to have some fun and we're going to get into some real conversation. So I'm going to roll right into this little icebreaker that we're going to do. And this is one that we're going to do segment for. This is our first time doing it. This is specifically for this because we have you here, right? So I'm going to give you a name and you're going to say canceled or not canceled.
Oh, okay.
And then if you want to give some explanation, you can. This is
Oh,
a super
absolutely,
quick fire, but
absolutely.
you got to give some context. You got to give some
A little, a
context.
little bit of context.
Okay. So I'm going to say a name. Kanye West.
Oh, definitely canceled. Yes. In my book, I explained in lots of details why he should have been canceled. And that was before all the anti-Semitism. That was before all of that. That was when I wrote this book in 2023 and it's dropped, The Case for Cancel Culture. I talked about how he was wearing MAGA hats, and that was before the insurrection. He was, denying slavery. He was disrespecting Harriet Tubman. He was disrespecting Black women. I mean, the list goes on. So it's been canceled for me. I didn't have to wait for him to start being problematic in other communities before other people decided he had to go. He been a problem in our community, and he's still a problem. Canceled.
Doja Cat.
We're gonna put her in cease and desist. I won't say
I
cancel.
like that category. Now give us the cease and
I won't
desist,
cancel her. I think that she has made some concerning decisions in the past, but I think that she is someone who has proven to move on. We could cancel her for this last album. This last album, I don't know what she was doing, but I think as a person,
I like it.
okay,
But it could be an age thing. It depends.
Look, I think that she, as a person, I think that she's come a long way. She made some really foolish decisions in the past. My friend used to call her Doja Scat rather than Doja Cat because of some of the things she was doing with her feet with some problematic folks in the past. But, I think that's not who she is. It's not seems to be something she's consistently trying to do. And so I would say no. I would say nah.
Okay. So no to Doja. What about Jonathan Majors?
Yeah, cancel. I think the reason why I say that is because he has potential to get out of the canceled box, but I think he remains canceled for me because I feel like he is still trying to play the victim in ways that I feel like is disingenuous. And I also think that, the way that he has tried to spin the block back into the community, even with him dating Megan Good, which is his right, that's his wife, she like it, they can love it. But I feel like at this point in time, it just seems like he is trying so hard to perform. Honestly, outside
for
of
us,
that
right?
situation for us, but I feel like outside of that situation, I just have found him corny. Like there's some people, they may do something problematic, mess up, and then they come back and we'd be like, you know what, they still got it. We like them, whatever. But he just seems so fraudulent to me. Like his whole
It's very
demeanor,
fake.
his vibe is just so fake. And so even if some people might have forgiven him and that's fine for what he did in the past, I just feel like his whole vibe at this point, his style, his fashion, his attitude, his self-righteousness, I just think it's corny. So he's just canceled just to me on all of it.
Oh, just off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see he was now on that show with Kirk and them too.
Yeah,
Further
like,
digging himself into the Black
why
community, right?
That?
Trying to staple himself to us again.
Yeah, just forced. It just seems forced. So that's corny to me. Yeah.
What about Jussie Smollett?
I have a history with Mr. Smollett. I'm going to pull out one of my awards I received. This is from the National Association of LGBTQ Journalists. I won this in 2023, Excellence in Long Form Journalism Award. And it was given to me for a piece I did Rolling Stone called Jussie Smollett Wanted to Be a Hero, Instead He Destroyed His Career. So I got this award right there for that. I struggle with him. Me and him, we had a situation, a situation in journalism, not in any type of other type of way.
Look, I was waiting patiently for it to unfold.
It's not over here. But the situation is that I interviewed him. I was actually working to do a story with him, and we spoke on the phone for many hours. But this is way before the trial. He wanted me to do a story on him, and I talked to him for about 3 hours, like 3 to 4 hours one time. He was trying to explain it to me, and I was asking all type of questions. We did some text messaging. We even text each other during the trial. And throughout that entire experience, y'all, I just
don't know what happened.
I don't know what's happening. I feel like it's one of those situations. You know how people tell you there's the truth, there's the other side, and there's something in the middle. It's something going on in the middle. I'm just not there. But you know what it is for me is that it's not so much about whether or not he did or didn't do it. I just feel like at this point in the game, just be honest. And even though, look, I'm not trying to crucify, I'm not supporting the cops. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one, there's a lot of disingenuous stands that I think some of it is driven by colorism, because I feel like when there's dark folks, like darker skinned people that do things like this, we don't give them this much play and this much grace. And we got to talk about like lookism, right? The featureism, like because he's light skinned and he's conventionally attractive to people. I think there's a reason why people were so protective of him compared to other people. I feel like, like if a Black trans woman did this, we wouldn't be having the same grace and conversations. I've seen it with my own eyes. Okay,
Absolutely
I'm in the media, and so I know that, someone asks, is he conventionally attractive? Listen, I don't find him that attractive, but I can see why other people could, because we know our community, what they go up for. And so I think the way that people came out to defend him in a situation where there was a lot of evidence and even his own story don't even link up. And even the fact that we found new information as the case went on, I just find there's some inconsistencies there. But for me, it's not canceled for me based on the situation itself, but more so on how he just has not really fully leaned into that. Like at this point, just say, look, it was what it was. And just say that. Just people that can admit they're wrong. I just feel like the fact that he wants to die on that hill and just act like everything else is a mass conspiracy, he's blocked me on Instagram. So I guess if he's canceled me, I guess I got to cancel him. So
wow.
Blocked, so
he didn't block you.
He canceled me in his
Now, why you get canceled? Now we ain't. But I'm gonna go to this list. I'm gonna come back to why you got canceled because that didn't happen during those text messages.
No, he got
All
mad.
right.
I mean, he got mad because I was being a journalist. He didn't want a journalist. He wanted
You were
somebody
asking
to be a
questions.
stand. I was asking questions.
Yeah.
I was doing my job. I was being fair and balanced, and he felt some type of way about it. And I get it. He's a celebrity. He's got an ego. It is what it is.
All right. How about Jason Lee? From a journalist, huh? What somebody asked him, what does he do? From a journalist, Jason Lee.
I think Jason don't give a fuck either way. I think Jason's a provocateur. I think that Jason
For sure
wants to be polarizing. That's part of his brand. And I think respectfully, he wants to be by some people. I think he enjoys that nuance. And so I would say, I mean, depending on what matter, right? I think, him being a public servant, wanting to be a politician. Some people want to cancel him based on, certain allegations. I mean, for me, I just think people like that, I just don't think they care. And I think that's what they want. So I could say canceled and he will look at it as a badge of honor. If I say not canceled, he will say whatever. I think people like him, Charlamagne the God, Joe Budden, they live for that. So I'm not ever going to say cancel because I think people like him want that. I think they want to lean into the notoriety. So I would say not canceled. Yeah. But if there were people who were trans and people who were outed in ways by him in the past, if they wanted to cancel him, I think they have every right to. I think he has done some things in the past that was highly problematic and was unfair to certain people. I won't name their names, but there has been many people I feel like he was completely mean and unfair to in ways that were just downright cruel, and it wasn't journalism. And I think they chose to cancel him. They have every right to. For me, I know what kind of attention he wants. He makes his money. Do your thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris and Michelle.
No, completely. Not canceled at all. Free her.
Really?
Talk about her in my book. I feel like that is someone, she made a decision. It wasn't a good decision. She deserved the critique, right? But the level of shaming, the way that we have come after her, where is Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Where's Nelly? Where's Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
Here's what you could say about that situation with Chrisette. You could argue that at that point in Trump's downfall, right, he had not yet fully leaned into the role. Now, he did some problematic things before this. Yeah. But he had not officially been the president of the United States yet. And so there are some people that we could give grace to and say there's some naivety, right? They're naive, right? And you could say she's, that she was a little naive to think that she can, that was going to heal the world, right? Get your check, do what you got to do. But she learned from it. She went through a lot. She had a miscarriage. She had a lot of mental health.
She had a lot of stuff
She went through a lot. And in this book, I did a lot of research on and discussed what happened. And so I just feel like at this end of the day, she learned her lesson. She won't do it again. She's not doing it again. But you got people like Lil Wayne. You got people like Kanye. How many times did Kanye show us who he was and we never gave him that smoke? You got people like Nelly. You got people like Snoop Dogg. You got people like Kodak Black who should be canceled for a myriad of reasons that continue to get second chances. So I just feel like, no, not canceled. That's somebody who made a bad choice, repented, apologized, learned their lesson, went through hell and haywater, and we don't give her that grace. And a lot of Black women I know in life have made certain mistakes and made bad decisions, and they will get it hotter than hot. And compared to some of these other people, we keep giving tons and tons of chances to. So she's not canceled to me at all.
I agree. I think she definitely deserved the backlash, and she's got it. And let's move on.
Yeah,
right? But and that same smoke for Snoop. I feel like Snoop, he just did this whole thing where he said something about going to the movies and seeing the lesbian couple, and now he's doing this little children's book with like, what is happening? What is that?
Midlife crisis.
Yeah, it's like what is going on? Crisis. You like jumping like a bean, jumping bean. All right, crisis. Then last one, Tamar.
Ask her family if she canceled. let's ask her family how they feel about her today. However her family feel about her is how I feel about her. You know, it depends on the season, the moment. What does Tony think, right? I mean, I just feel like with Tamar, it's not even a conversation about canceled. It's like why? When I see Tamar, some
She
things,
can.
I just ask why. Like there's just situations that she just why? Like I want to cancel her social media subscriptions. I want to cancel her cell phone. I want to cancel her schedule when she's online. Like I just someone like her, it's just such unnecessary. It's so unnecessary. Like some of
It's
the things
self-sabotage is what
it
it
is,
is.
and it's just so unnecessary. Like some of the things that she say,
It's
I
like
just say
what?
why, you know. So I
Uh,
don't know if it's canceled. I mean, for me, I don't take her seriously. Um, I think at this point, a lot of people just don't. I think at this point, it's not a bait rage, and part of me is it goes in that Jason Lee category for me. Like, there's a part of me that wonder: is this a sense of attention? Are you doing these things to be provocateur? Are you doing these things to get attention and to be relevant? I'm not saying Jason Lee do the things he do to be relevant, but I definitely think that Jason Lee says certain things in a manner to which he wants attention. He knows how this media game works, and it's meant to provoke. The same way that Charlamagne the God plays a contrarian, the same way Joe Budden do the things that he do. I feel like I think Tamar's in that provocateur lane where it's really hard to cancel or not cancel them because it's almost like if you do, you're actually doing what they want you to do.
Now, do you think Tamar, the same way we felt like Chrisette Michelle got more heat than the men that have done the same thing, do you think Tamar gets more heat from the people than some of those men you mentioned, the Jason Lee, the Charlamagne the God, the Joe Buttons, about the way that they interact with their fans, how they go and Boosie, how they go on and rant and rant and rage, and they've said some more dangerous and like crazy stuff
I agree.
than Tamar has done. And I feel, do you think that she also is getting more backlash than they would for some of the stuff that she's doing?
So, you know, if you would have asked me this a couple of years ago, I would have said because of sexism, misogynoir, absolutely. And I think there is some truth to that. However, that's almost like asking me, do you think that Candace Owens get the level of backlash compared to others that do what she do? I think the issue with those men compared to Tamar is that they are very much being themselves. Like, I don't expect them to not do any of the things.
I get it. You expect more from her.
Well, Tamar says she's an advocate. She says she's an ally to the LGBT community. She says all of these, she virtue signals a lot. She's always acting like she's a better person than some of the things that she say and often do. She oftentimes act like she was raised better, know better, but she doesn't do better. Versus the God in them, they're not pretending to be anything that they're not. Joe Budden shows us every day who he is. He is who he is. I don't expect anything less. I don't expect anything less from any of these individuals. I don't. So the difference between Tamar and them is that she holds herself to a standard that she does not meet. They don't hold themselves to any standard.
Right.
We're forcing the standard on them. We're like holding them to a higher regard than who they really are. I think just in a nutshell, like for example, Mark Lamont Hill being on the Joe Budden podcast. There's a reason why we were all like disappointed or had moments of frustration with him, because this is a man with a PhD. This is a man who has been out in the trenches. He's an advocate. He's won a GLAAD award. He's in community with different types of people. He has a different level of understanding of different people that we don't hold him to the state. We should hold him differently because he holds himself differently. But Joe Budden can say the same things and do the same things, and we wouldn't care because this man doesn't really hold himself to a standard and he doesn't care. Tamar, we're disappointed in Tamar because Tamar acts as if she's different from a lot of the other people that we often critique. So that's the difference there.
Thank you for your opinions on all of those. That has been canceled or not. We're going to take a quick break, but before we go, I'm going to ask everybody listening, everybody watching it, do your thing. Leave us a comment. Leave us a review. Go to the comments on Instagram. Go to leave us a review. Go to Apple Podcasts. Go to Spotify. Leave us a review. We want to hear it. We want to see it. We want to see y'all interact with us. We know y'all listening. We don't see who you are, but we see that y'all listening. We see that y'all listening. Go say something, and we will return after this.
3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? What's up? It's your boy Micah B. We are back here. This is our fall and winter series. We need that. And this week we need cancel culture. We are here with Ernest Owens. We are having a great time. Alex and Ernest had a good convo just now about canceled or nah. But you know what's not canceled? Y'all's reviews. All right. So make sure that you give us a rating and a review. Okay. Give us a rating and a review. It's free. It just takes you a little bit of time. Give us a rating and review. Let us know what you think about the podcast. So, real quick, before we get into some things, we're going to go into a segment here that we have on the Black Gay Agenda, and it's called the 10s. We're going to ask you 10 rapid fire questions. All right.
Okay.
We don't need a whole bunch of explanations. Let's just get into it. All right. Rapid if you can. Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
One, what celebrity would you cancel again if you could?
Are they dead or are they alive?
Either or.
Ooh, somebody that's alive, a celebrity. I'm gonna do Kanye.
Ooh, okay.
Kanye, yeah.
Dead? Is it Hulk Hogan, brother? Is it Hulk Hogan, brother?
Dead?
Yeah.
Someone who just recently passed away.
So it's not Hulk Hogan, brother.
It's the person who did a podcast, who had a podcast.
Kevin Samuels?
Charlie Kirk.
Okay. I feel you, brother. I feel you, brother. I think Hulk Hogan would be on my list.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That's fair.
He was, yeah. All right. When was the last time you changed your mind about something big?
What do you mean something big?
Yeah, great question. Anything. When was the last time you changed something, something that you stood 10 toes down on, and then you've since been like, I see this differently now?
Monica Lewinsky.
Okay.
I would say Monica Lewinsky. I think just the more and more, like when I wrote this book and I talked about Monica Lewinsky, I read so much more about her and understanding her experiences, the way that we talk about sexual harassment, the power dynamics. I mean, she made a bad decision, but I think that in my mind, based on my upbringing, how they used to talk about her, I feel like definitely the power was definitely in Bill Clinton's hands. He definitely knew what he was doing. He had a history of cheating. Now, mind you, that was not the first married man that Monica had messed with, but the power dynamics of him being the president, I would say that.
And you know, Nene said, "Close your legs to married men." So maybe we needed Nene way back then.
Yeah, but I really feel like when I look at that whole entire situation, he was the president of the United States.
Oh, for sure. It's 100% on.
It was not like some temptress. He was playing game.
Because to this day, I still think that Melly Grant was never the villain. It was always President Fitz on Scandal for my Scandal fans.
Oh, agreed, 100%.
She was never the bad. She was
not the villain. She was a woman scorned. Was she perfect? No, but nah. So that's what I would say. I definitely have changed my mind on Monica Lewinsky for sure.
Okay, who's one public figure that is overrated and why?
Y'all trying to get me in trouble. I would say Charlamagne the God. Ooh. I think very overrated. I think that even in what he's trying to be, we've seen better.
You talking about like him being in the mental health?
I mean, I think that's a lane. I mean, I don't even think that is even a lane in space. I was thinking this whole idea of him being this relatable Black man that is, you know, representing people in the streets, different types of men in the barbershop, and his thinking. I just feel like it's just a facade. I think that I mean, as a journalist, I've lived in Philly. I was born in Chicago. I grew up in Houston, Texas. I've been around different types of Black men in my life, those with college degrees, those who don't, those who've been incarcerated. And I just think that the way that he's been amplified, his political commentary is not that thoughtful. It's not that bold. I just feel like they play into him because of the fact that he fits a certain stereotype. And I'm not saying that he has to be super intellectual. I'm just saying that even in his commentary, while he discusses these issues, it's very surface level. It's not really reflective of the communities to which he thinks he's representing. and he's not really hitting those black male voters because a lot of the types of people that he's probably talking to aren't even registered to vote.
So a follow-up question about him, and then we'll go to the next one. I'm sorry, I know it's rapid fire. However, it was a big conversation this past 2 weeks that's had a lot of the real estate on social media, right? The whole issue where the Native Land podcast with Tiffany Cross, Angela Rye, Bakari Sellers, and Andrew Gillum. They had an episode where they were talking about, they were asking if the Joe Budden podcast was responsible for the dumbing down of black intellect, right?
Well, they're you know, respectfully, they're hypocrites because they collaborate with people like Charlemagne the God. I mean, his platform, he has a stake in their podcast. Like he's a part of that podcast. Like it's his podcast network. Their show's a part of that. And so, you know, I've had a back and forth with Angela Rye about why are you affiliating yourself with someone like him, given the way in which you critiqued other people for allegations of sexual assault and misconduct.
Do you think there's space? Do you think there's space though for us to have black intellectual platforms and also have platforms that's just maybe not that intellectual?
We don't have to have that, but the problem is they're taking up space, right? Like, why is someone like him getting to be on MSNBC, interviewing the former vice president, getting to occupy those intellectual spaces, but then go, we're not intellectual? But then we got black people who are actually educated, have worked in government, know government, have covered these stories, done the research, and we're still being sidelined for clowns like him. So I think that's the problem. It's like, pick a side. If you're not going to be the intellectual, then stop occupying intellectual spaces. Okay. And if you are going to be something different, there's plenty of space for you. I just think what's happening is that the industry, and it's not just his fault, it's the media industry itself, that they always go, when it comes to black men specifically, they always go for people like that who they want to claim are relatable. And what relatability means, people who have not done the full research, people who are always going to be a contrarian, people who are going to always cherry pick different parts of arguments and always give people illogical fallacies in order to appeal to people. I mean, look how he switched around during the 2024 election. Like one moment he's feeding up Trump rhetoric and stereotypes on communities. Next moment he's, you know, bootlicking for Kamala Harris and singing her praises. Like this man was following wherever the wind was blowing. Like Stephen A. Smith. Like, look at that guy. Whatever's hot, he's going to jump on the bandwagon.
All right, and we're gonna get into Stephen A. Smith a little bit later. So I don't want to belabor the time with that. All right, we're gonna get to Stephen A. Smith a little bit later. But who deserves a real comeback? Who deserves a real comeback?
Chrisette Michele. I think Chrisette Michele definitely deserves a real comeback. I think, you know, she had talent. She's a Grammy winner. She could sing, you know, and I think she do. I think Will Smith deserves a comeback. I mean, I know he's had a semi-comeback, but I feel like Will Smith deserves a comeback for sure.
Okay. I don't think he should have never had a cancellation.
I don't think so either. I think Will Smith deserves, I would love him to go back to Hollywood and make movies. Like, I think he deserves the same level. I wish he was on the same path that he was prior to Incident. When he won that Oscar, I know what his career would have been. I know how we would have felt about that movie Emancipation. I feel like Emancipation would have got him his second Oscar nomination. So definitely that.
So unpopular opinion, and then we'll jump past it, but unpopular opinion, I think that his cancellation had a lot to do with it. But I also think just the quality of Will Smith films prior to the slap were kind of like hit or miss as well.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I feel like, you know, bar for bar, round for round, this man had a career of over 30 years.
For sure.
So he can have a couple of flops because when he gave the stuff that was on top.
When you're one of the GOATs, you can have a flop.
Yeah.
I.e. that new Denzel and
like
Spike Lee movie.
Those are greats, you know. So I definitely feel like, you know, I want him to have another chance. Yeah.
What's one pop culture moment that you wish that Twitter will never forget? One pop culture moment that you hope that just Twitter, Instagram, whatever, TikTok, YouTube never forgets.
messy or good. Like, how are we gonna say that? How are we gonna
Me
put that?
either. Give us
The Drake Kendrick situation. I think
Yes.
that whole discourse, we got to have that.
Yes.
I think that's what we need to have. We need to. That was an important moment. We had a lot of conversations about a lot of things, about hip hop, predatory behavior. We was a lot of conversations that
Identity
came out
politics.
of that. Colorism, all the things. I think the music industry, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of really good, rich conversations that came out of that beef that was bigger than the beef itself. And I was here for that kind of discourse because we hadn't had that in a long time. So I would definitely say that. And then, honorable mention, my whole feud with Justin Timberlake.
Your whole feud. What did he say? He called you
sweet. He called me a sweet old soul, poor soul, whatever he called me.
Yeah, you poor sweet soul.
And everybody dragged him in 2016 during the BET Awards, and that was a moment. That's my honorable mention. Not a share like that. Like how we came together, because what happened from that situation led to us really going up for Janet even more. Like we got a Janet Appreciation Day that Janet and other people put up. Like a lot of people came around Janet, and I love how we revisited that. I'm happy that my situation helped. My feud with him helped bring that conversation back into the culture, and we really rallied behind Janet in a different way. And that's a situation that we all, we helped shape that narrative.
Even though I think your feud with Piers Morgan is a little bit more spicy, though. I think your feud with Piers Morgan is more spicy.
Yeah, but I'm thinking for the culture. I love Janet. I'm a Janet fan, and I just really love the fact that the way that we talk about Janet today, we don't let that dark cloud hover over her.
Correct.
Even the way that he got dealt with, right? Justin Timberlake is not viewed the same. Like that's
we don't F with him. We don't fuck with him.
That's justice for me. Like that is, that is just like,
Justin.
Yes.
He should have never had a plate, but his plate.
But we gave him for years. Yes. He kept eating and eating. He did stuff to Prince. He was disrespecting so many legends. Yep. It was long overdue. So I'm happy.
He can't get a to-go plate now.
20 years later, we are not looking at Janet the way that we do now. We're not allowing people to talk about Janet saying we see Janet as a victim now, rather than somebody who, was this accomplice in their own downfall. Like we talk about her differently. We talk about Justin differently, and I'm proud about that.
What's your guilty pleasure show?
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
So for educational research purposes, on Sunday, I find myself on Zeus on Sundays.
Okay. You're a Baddies fan.
Jocelyn, my problematic fave is Jocelyn Hernandez. Very problematic.
Okay, so you just answered the next question, because we are talking about cancellations. So my next question was, who is your problematic fave?
So I already said Jocelyn. I'll say Jocelyn. Ooh. Nah. Okay. The music, not her.
Music. Nikki?
Kaya. Me and my best friend, we love that song, Yum Sauce.
Okay.
Every time Yum Sauce, listen, Yum Sauce, she did her big one. Cash Only. I know people be talking about her. Kaya, I'm from the South, so we know some things. I know there is a small little coat. Kaya has some, Don't Trust No. Listen.
Don't Trust No.
Kaya, music-wise, as a person, there are some very hurtful, problematic things. I think Kaya has done some things in her career. She is her own enemy. She has done some problematic things. People deserve not to support. I understand why people don't go see her or listen to her or whatever the case is. Yes. I get it. But as far as the songs that she makes, the bangers, listen, I know they're not on the radio. I know that, all that, but the music itself, she's got some nice twerk songs. The songs be twerking. Her as a person, cancel her. But the songs, she do what she do.
How safe of a space is this? Because you just gave us your problematic fave, and I think it's only right for me to give mine.
Are you talking about somebody that's from the same city we from?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I'm talking about an artist though, a singer.
Okay.
And he has a hit every single year somehow that just goes viral. Um,
No, no, no,
um,
no,
I
no,
I know I'm not supposed to listen to him, right?
no, no,
But
no.
like,
See, one thing I say about Kaya, her mouth is violent, but
okay,
his hands
all
were
right.
violent.
Oh, so you already know who I'm talking
Oh,
about.
absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's all of y'all. All of y'all. We saw the receipts on the tour. We saw the Breezy Bowl. We saw it.
And
Shame. Shame.
it's shame, and I
And
can't
here's the
help
thing
it. Like,
about it. Here's the issue with him, though, right?
okay,
Y'all only like, see, the thing is, I want to dare to imagine.
okay,
Imagine, right? Because here's the issue. His issue with that. There's a reason why y'all like him, and it's not because of him per se. It's
okay.
because of the fact that there is literally no one else that has gotten a shot for real, to really go out there and do their thing. So there's no other artist. The industry is so, this is such a terrible thing with R&B, with the male R&B. We don't have a replacement. We don't have an alternative. And the industry has really pigeonholed the game where they've created a lane for him to continue to have. We see them do this in pop music. We see them do, but they really do this in R&B with the men specifically. Like, they have not allowed, there are many young up and coming male artists that I feel like could definitely, get there, but they don't invest in those artists. They were not letting them. They're letting Chris Brown have the oversaturation. It can only be one at a time.
Okay.
We see this in our generation, even in the R&B. It's not that many lanes that we allow for there to be other stars. Like, we don't have alternative. Like, in a world where we have the white girls, they get Sabrina Carpenter, they get
Chappelle Rowan,
yeah,
Chappelle
they get variety.
Rowan.
The industry pigeonholes black artists, like male
Yeah,
and women
facts.
artists. We don't allow there to be a variety. I miss the early 2000s where we had so many people to choose from. We had so many different artists, and we weren't trying to compare people. It feels like every time we have somebody, it's like we got to compare them to Beyonce. We got to compare them to Rihanna. Every female rapper, we got to compare them to Nicki. And it's like, can we just have variety, y'all? Like, we just don't allow that. So I feel like you are a victim of an industry that will not allow you to have any variety. And so you are forced to only have to like him because you have no other options.
So that's not
My
entirely.
condolences. I feel bad for you. You don't have no one to choose.
No,
So
that's not entirely true because I love my Leon Tom. I love me some
he
Leon
ain't
Tom.
dancing though. He ain't dancing
I
though.
love me
Like,
some
he's
Destin.
not dancing.
I love me
Listen,
some
take
Destin
my listen.
Conrad.
I'm giving you an out, and you're not doing that. So I'm sorry. So if you got other options and you still choosing to like him, then
Okay.
you're making a choice.
So let's move on before the people.
Okay, you better take this out. I'm not taking it out because I don't care. I don't like. I'm not supporting him. But I'm telling you, you have no other choice if you really like an R&B artist with that versatility of choreography. There is no other good singing and dancing R&B male artist out like him. So that's the only reason why, because he's the only option, right? Okay. It's like when people tell me when they go to the store, they say, "Oh, I can't not. I got to cancel Walmart and Target. I'm canceling Target, but I can't go to Walmart. Like, where else can I go? I can't go to Amazon because the only place I can get delivery." Okay, so let's say Chris Brown is the Amazon for y'all R&B boys. He's the Amazon. Y'all have no other choice but to use it. You cannot cancel it because it's the only option for y'all. Because Usher, he's gotten older. I still go for Usher, but Usher, he's aged out in many ways. He's not doing the music consistently. So y'all can't even do Usher, but y'all have no other options. Trey Songz is just as bad. Trey Songz is just as bad. Shit. I mean,
Trey Songz is just as bad.
Lesser of evils at that point.
Both of them are bad. And then the real king R&B is one who we can't mention.
Nope. All the boys are R&B a mess. So you really stuck. You stuck with the only one that's not incarcerated or currently pending settlements and charges.
Facts. Okay. Fill in the blank. Two more. All right. Fill in the blank. We need more blank in journalism.
Independent Black-owned outlets.
I agree. What keeps you honest in your work and in your life?
The people. Honestly, the public. Yeah, because we do it for y'all. When y'all listen, I know how y'all can get, because when I write a really good story, I see how y'all act up on the people I cover. So I'm not gonna fuck up, because I don't want any of you all to come at me the way y'all come at people that I report and do stories on. So it's the people. This is for the people. Journalism is a public service. It is meant to inform, to entertain, and to, motivate and inspire people. And so, you all keep me honest, and that's what has kept me doing what I've been doing for the past 15 years.
Period. Last question. Finish this sentence. The Black gay agenda is
unapologetic radical truth. That's what we are. That's what it is. Unapologetic. It's radical, and it's true. It's truth.
I love that. I love that. All right. Well, this has been the Tens with Ernest Owens. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it, and we're gonna get right into it. Okay, we're not gonna belabor the time. A couple of weeks ago, when we had Ronald Thomas Hinton, the creator and actor in Natives, the series, I said that there was a conversation that I had to have here. It's a conversation that I've been wanting to have, and it's a conversation that I'm afraid to have. No, I'm not afraid of it to have, but I don't want to, because I don't run from the smoke. But we got to talk about Beyonce. We got to talk about Jay-Z. All right. So we are going to talk about the Carters and the capitalist table. Okay. We're going to talk about Beyonce. And anybody who knows me, anybody who's listened to me knows that I am Beehive down, right? Beehive. There's two celebrities who I will be a hypocrite for. And I hate to say it sometimes. And it's LeBron James and it's Beyonce Knowles. And they unfortunately are two sides of the same coin. If we really want to talk about it. They embrace the movement, right? They embrace the people and the culture, but they also embrace capitalism, and they have some questionable connections. So I want to get right into it. A couple of weeks ago, we saw a picture surface online of Jay-Z and Beyonce sitting at the table with Jared Kushner, right? Those of you who may not know, Jared Kushner is the son-in-law of Donald Trump. All right, he's married to Ivanka. He's a very nice man, but also a very dangerous man. But very brilliant in my eyes. He's a very brilliant man. But now we know that Jared Kushner and Ivanka was sitting at the table, had a seat at the table with the Carters. What was your initial gut reaction when you saw that?
I wasn't surprised. Ooh. I mean, let's not forget Saudi Arabia. Like, where was she performing? I mean, where do we begin? I mean,
okay. So, what does it mean when cultural icons like Beyonce, who is in charge, who did Lemonade, who did like the Black Parade, right? Who did all of these, who did reclaimed, when she reclaimed the American flag during Cowboy Carter, when she showed us about liberation during Renaissance. What does it mean when cultural icons align, even silently, with political figures that are connected to oppression?
So when I wrote my book, The Case for Cancel Culture, I really learned a lot about myself and my own habits of how much I have projected my personal values and politics onto public figures. And it was, and after writing this book, I've completely have changed my entire mindset around how I seek to hold these people, quote unquote, accountable. I think the accountability starts at home with ourselves. It starts with the way that we act during stand culture, the parasocial relationships that we have with these individuals.
Ooh, come on.
We got to talk about that with ourselves first, right? Granted, right, these individuals are disingenuous in the ways in which they do. Like, there's no taking accountability from them on that. But we also got to take a step back and ask some important questions. and this is what we have to do in the Black community, because this is something that we do a lot. I mean, other communities do it too. They do their own stuff, but it's really big upon us. And I think about, you know, some of the quotes that Malcolm X used to say about how they will put certain sports stars and celebrities up to be our leaders. We got to look at who we are holding accountable. Are we holding Beyonce more accountable than we are our state reps on issues that really impact us? Right? I'm more concerned when I see elected officials in my state, right, get funding from right-wing institutions and groups, right, to support issues that impact, that go against what they say they support. Elected officials that will go, oh, wait a minute, I support public education, I support LGBTQ rights, but you're getting money from billionaires like Jeffrey Yazz, who's funding, you know, programs that go against public schools and go against these types of rights, right? So I am more so of looking at where do we direct our energy as a community, as a people, right? That we need to make sure we hold the proper weight. Beyonce is not my state rep. She's not my congresswoman. She's not any of those things. She's an artist who entertains me, right? I enjoy her music. I enjoy her. But I also recognize that she's a person with her own personal agenda, her own politics, and that the way in which she lives her life is not in alignment with me. And I got to figure out as a consumer, as a person, how much weight do I want to put into that? Because I think when you hold these people in a certain type of level to which they discern your educational politics, she's not teaching me anything about Black culture that I have not taken the time to read and learn myself.
Right.
She's not telling me, she's you know, in many ways amplifying these things, but we give these celebrities way too much weight. They should be a part of our journey, but they should not be our journey.
Do you think it's the same?
Should not be our understanding to critical race theory and to our understanding of social justice. He can be a part of that experience, but he cannot be the map. And so we put too many too many celebrities in a certain type of box to be our North Star to these things. They should be a part of it, but should not be the only thing. So if Beyonce disappoints you, that doesn't mean that you give up on your Black identity, your sense of self, your sense of political action, because she's a part of that experience. And people are humans. They will disappoint you. And so she disappointed me with that. But at the end of the day, she's not going to change my understanding and my politics about how I feel about the Trump administration. She can do what she want to do. Yeah, but they ain't changing nothing over here. And so we should stop projecting those things onto those people as much as they want us to.
I'm glad that you brought that. I'm glad that you said all of that. And literally, I was about to ask you, do you think we give Kendrick Lamar too much? Because, you know, ever since Pimp Butterfly, we've made Kendrick Lamar out to be our Black Messiah, basically.
He should not be. I mean, let's start with the fact of his own contradictions. You sat up here and talked about Kendrick, you talked about Drake, talking about, you know, A minor, made the reference, right, threw that low ball, but you did an album with Kodak Black, a man who's been accused of inappropriate behavior, abusive behavior, colorist behavior, and yet you thought that he was worthy of redemption. And so if you can sit up here and collaborate with people like that who got weird cases, then who are you to then turn around and then go after Drake in the way that you did and act like you doing something for the culture? Look, you took a dunk, you made your money, you made your diss track. It was cool. It was a moment, but you are not going to be the lexicon on how I feel about these types of issues because you're an entertainer. And I think that's what we need to get to. We need to put people in their respective spaces, because you know what's funny? Every time when it's good for the entertainer and the celebrity, right? They want to be all of those things. They want to be the activist. They want to be all those things. But then when they fail and they mess up and they screw up, then they go, I'm just the entertainer. I'm just a singer. Well, you know what? You're going to be just a singer and just a rapper no matter what you do. Whether you're good or bad, we're going to put you in a space of saying you're a good entertainer. Like John Legend is a good entertainer. Like he is a thoughtful, conscious-minded entertainer. He's not my politician. Yeah. He's not my scholar. He's not my political advisor. He's none of those things for me. He's not my organizer. He is a very thoughtful, conscious entertainer, and I support him and I enjoy his music. And that's that. But he's
And
never
this is
done that for me. That's it.
and that's where us as consumers have the choice, right? So
Yeah,
like a lot of people that were coming against cancel culture, like, oh, we hate cancel culture, da, da, da. I say it's the same thing as writing a review for a restaurant that you went to that you didn't like.
that's right.
You're telling people that you had a bad experience
That's right.
so that they know
Good.
that what this restaurant or what this person has done, will do, capability of doing, has done in the past. Now it's up to everybody else to decide if they're going to continue to support this person, this restaurant, this business, this whatever it is. But like, that's the thing. Like, I have that right. And yes, I do need to tell people about it because that was my experience, right? Like, try to keep it a secret because you want the person to continue to do the bad shit. Like, no.
I think people have a guilty conscience and they need to honor that. Sit in that discomfort. I think when people have these moments where
Yes.
they're uncomfortable, rather than them sit in that discomfort and reflect on their values, they move the goalposts, they deflect, they do
Mhm.
all these other things, right? When the Chris Brown conversation comes up, people always want to move the goalposts, right? They make
Mhm.
it seem like it's only about Rihanna. It's not just about Rihanna, y'all. We know this. There's been numerous allegations, situations, not even just around women and domestic violence, but homophobia, colorism, all these things. Okay. At the end of the day, you have to make your own decision about what that means and how that feels. And you have to determine yourself on what your values are and how they align, right? For me, it's a no for me. It's a no for R. Kelly. It's a no for me and my values because I have too many friends in my life that has been victims of abuse in those types of ways. And I personally don't feel comfortable going up for those artists and those individuals. But you got to figure out what that parameter is for yourself. And if other
Mhm.
people disagree with you, you got to understand, does that person's opinion matter so much to you? If it persuades you to change your mind, change your mind. If it don't, stay where you're at. But sit in the discomfort of knowing that there are people out here who hold different beliefs. And I think rather than we acknowledge those nuances or those complexities, we try to make all these excuses to justify it.
Okay, so before I move on and pass the baton off to Alex, right? The big black baton to Alex. What I want to do is ask you one more
Thank you.
question.
Sure.
Can black capitalism truly serve the black community? So when we're talking about our Oprahs, when we're talking about our Rihannas, when we're talking about our Jay-Z's, when we're talking about our LeBron James, and the list goes on, Beyonce's, can black capitalism truly serve the black community, or does it always end up protecting itself?
So, I think you answered the question. The answer is no. I think black investment is what will. I think the problem that we're having in these conversations around capitalism is that capitalism is an individual, you know, fulfillment, right? Investment is collective. When we talk about these celebrities, we're often talking about their own personal wealth and their own benefit, right?
Mhm.
But I want to hear more about the investments. And I'm not saying, I know Beyonce and Jay-Z has donated and created foundations and charities, whatever. But I want to hear more about the investments that they've made more than their own personal gains. We spend so much time bragging about how much money they've amassed, how many things they have, how many clothes and jets and, ape shit. We talk about that, but I think part of the issue is I want to know how much they're investing in other things.
And a
Every
lot
day
of people don't know that.
they don't know, but that's the problem. Why are we hiding that? But we showing off all the trips and the jewelry. Like, hide that too. Like, do both. Like, I will say,
Yeah.
people can critique her. I know people will call her problematic fave, but this is the only one that I'm just gonna give it. Look, Oprah. Listen, I know people say they want to say about Oprah, but I will say, out of a lot of these billionaires, these black billionaires, her and Robert
Okay.
Smith, who's my frat brother, I'm a proud member of Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Most of Robert Smith's conversations is about investment. When he made his big moment, when he went to Morehouse and paid off that debt, I want flex. Like, that's how you flex. He paid off those kids' debts. He's investing in programs to enrich our young people in our communities. Like, that level of investment. Like, Oprah You can say what you want, but Oprah is consistently investing. She's also paid tuition for kids at HBCUs. She's also created foundations. She's also helped people in countries. We always talk about how white celebrities go to Africa, but she's also done the same thing too. She's done a lot of things to support people over the years in her career, right? And so I just would want to see more of these types of Black capitalists make more Black investments if we're to believe that it can be possible. Because if it is not possible, if they're not talking about the investments, then you've answered your question. It's simply Black capitalism, and Black capitalism that only serves the individual and them alone and does not invest in collective repair. Look at that woman, McKinsey. The former with the Amazon, Jeff Bezos, ex-wife or whatever. She's dumping tons of money into programs. People always like to call her the wokest billionaire or capitalist, right? Yeah, it's problematic, the money she's inherited, but she's putting so much of that money back into the community. Yeah. She's addressing so many social issues. These are the flexes I want to see them do. Flex like that. Because you got that money, flex. Stop flexing about your clothes, your cars, your shoes. We know you got that. We know you can do that. Put the money and flex on it. Because if I had the money they had, woo! Don't get started. I'll be trying to get that shit down to $1 million. Because I need to have at least $1 million. But I would get all my every time I make 100 million, I'm throwing it away. I'm pouring into something. Because I want to flex. They keep talking about buy the block. Who's really bought the block? Who's really transformed the block?
I love that. I love that. I love that. Oh, this is good, y'all. Make sure that y'all are giving us a rating and a review. If y'all like this conversation, we are getting into some things. Leave a rating and review. Weigh in on the conversation. Let us know what you guys are thinking. But I know it ain't. Alex the Stallion.
It's your boy.
So, Alex, I want to toss it to you because we got to talk about another person who's been in the news, and it's our good sis, Miss Lauren Kiki.
Now let me tell you something.
Palmer.
Let me tell you something about Kiki. I'm a beehive, and I listen to some Chris Brown, but y'all about to tell me nothing about Kiana.
Okay.
Y'all ain't gonna tell me nothing about Kiki. Okay, she's building and growing. Okay, that's what we said. All right, but no, this next segment we're gonna talk about Kiki Palmer, right? And so we're gonna talk about reinvention, rebrand, or misstep, right? So we're gonna talk about some of the things that has been going on in the media with her. And the very first thing that I want to jump right into is she's had interviews with Jonathan Majors and Offset, and every time she has those types of interviews, there's a lot of backlash. Do you think it's justified backlash, or does that reach back to kind of like what we said before about the expectations of what we have on these celebrities and who we think they should be?
Well, it's the same issue I said about Tamar, right? Kiki, her brand has been centered around wholeness and hearing people and considering folks and being an advocate. That's her brand. And so in some ways, the projection and let's be very clear. People have a right to be disappointed. People have a right to express that, right? That's how democracy works. That's how free speech works. And so I do feel like people have a right to be disappointed. I think the difference becomes, and I think in the situation of Beyonce and Jay-Z, is when we project politics on certain folks, a certain type of politic. And I think in the situation of Beyonce and Jay-Z, there's a lot of projection on their politic in a way that I feel like, it's like, they're showing you us who they are. Why are we expecting it to be different? Same thing with Kendrick. Like Kendrick has a lot of inconsistencies. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the symbolism of it all without looking at the messaging, right? Like, are they saying these things? Or are we just consuming the symbols of those things and then we're projecting? And a lot of it has to do with the branding aspects of these types of celebrities, right? Guilty as charged. My issue with Kiki is that I do feel like Kiki's at an age, she's been in Hollywood, she's in showbiz, she knows how this works. I do feel like she's doing this on purpose to stay relevant. And I'm not saying that she struggles with relevancy. I think she has talent, but I do think there's a part of Kiki that actually she wants that edge. I think she wants to shed the good girl image. She's been fighting for a long time. I think that's part of the weirdness about her career. And I talked about this on my podcast, my podcast, Earnestly Speaking. is that I think Kiki's in this weird space. She's in her 30s, she's in her early 30s. And I think there's a little girlness that we still project on Kiki. We still treat her our little sister. And I think she's been fighting for several years to break free from that. And we just won't let that be. We won't let her fully mature into a different woman that is going to have flaws and mistakes. And I think in some ways she's manufacturing some of these issues so that she can have that edge. And I think in some ways that there's other artists and celebrities that in many ways that when they leaned into their bad girl, bad boy era, that kind of gave them that break free. Like I think, for example, Chris Brown, for better or for worse, I think Chris Brown's success, sadly, even though I don't like him, is that he leaned into the bad boy image to mature into a way that reinvented himself. If we were still trying to hold on to that good old cute Michael Jackson Jr. type of protege
with the list,
right, then it would have been a different. He would have faded out very quickly. I think
we also would have been disappointed too, because that's really not who he is, right?
No,
he's being who he is now. I feel like
I think that's the thing with Bow Wow, right? I think Bow Wow had a hard time.
Yeah, really hard time
to phase out of that. And so I think Kiki is having a hard time. I think Taylor Swift is struggling with it, to be honest. She don't know how to
get making music. Like she's still making music like she's a 18-year-old girl.
She's having a hard time. Ariana Grande had to do some very problematic things to get into that adult woman-esque vibe. They do some really problematic things. And so I think there's an aspect in pop culture with celebrities where they start to do like Justin Bieber had to do it. He got to dabble with some things to get him into a different type of conversation.
Beyonce did it. I feel like Beyonce did it with
not too much on Beyonce
when she started to talk about sex more. Yeah, she did, because we had Pigeon when she did that, you know.
But it wasn't
all night. She still had to do that.
It wasn't
to get out of that.
But I tell people she was doing that with B-Day. Anybody who's listening to B-Day, Kitty Cat, all of that, she was doing it. But
Kitty Cat was nasty.
I feel like she just. I feel like even. There's a whole she's an anomaly on so many levels.
Yeah.
But I feel like in so many ways her talent allowed her to avoid a lot of those things.
Yes.
The talent was so high, the quality was so high that there's certain artists we allow to not be that way. Like Michael Jackson, even though he had his girlfriends and his situations, we never saw Michael Jackson in a sexual way. Even though he did those things, the talent was so immaculate that we didn't need him. Even when he tried to do those things, he'd be like, okay, whatever. You ain't
it was really hard to see him in
and he was a man who didn't even want to admit to having sex to Oprah in the interview.
That's ignorant.
Yeah, but that's the same thing with Beyonce. Beyonce, even though she do those things, we're like, yeah, we see it, but we're never imagining her having more than one sexual partner in Jay-Z.
Right.
She's a mother, a husband. Her mainstream boyfriend became her husband. And she's a mother, and that's it, right?
Real quick, follow up before Alex continues.
Yes.
Should Kiki Palmer have done the interview with Offset? Should Kiki Palmer have done the interview with what's the man's name? Jonathan Majors. Should Kiki Palmer be a public supporter of let's say a Chris Brown?
I just feel like the mess that the issue is there's a branding issue. She's branding herself as this real open advocate, believe victims, women. She shared her own experience with Trey Songz.
Yeah.
And so how do you do that? And then, if she's going to make that shift, the issue is she has to explain it. And I think that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
These celebrities want to do these things that take a 180 turn, and then they just want to act like it's nothing there. No, like own that. Like,
could we push back? Could we push back? Because now this is going to sound a little bit ridiculous.
Sure.
So sorry if I sound ridiculous.
Go ahead. You already know what you're about to do.
She's a journalist, like she's interviewing.
That's
people.
what I was about to say. I was
She's
about to
not
say
a
the same
journalist.
thing.
No one cares that Barbara Walters interviewed.
No. Because here's the issue. And,
Okay.
I'm happy you brought that up. Because
Okay.
as a journalist, she's not a journalist. And that is what's annoying. That's a passive. Let me tell you something. A lot of celebrities are weaponizing journalism to do some passive aggressive shit. I'm just going to name it. All of these interviews is just opportunities to either rebrand themselves, promote themselves, put their friends on, amplify their friends. This is not journalism.
Okay.
This is content. This is sponsored content. Why was Jonathan Majors on that show? He was on a rehabilitation tour. He's been using Black women to clean up his image, and she allowed herself to be a pawn to that.
Ooh. Is Megan Good a pawn to that?
I mean, they have a romantic relationship. I don't know what that's given, but that's a romantic relationship. But I'm talking about the Sherry Shepherds. I'm talking about all of these different Yana Fix a Life. Like all these Black women are consistently been a part of a rehabilitation plan for Jonathan Majors. And my issue is, Kiki, you're smart enough to know what is giving. And so for you to choose to put yourself in that role to help sanitize this man's reputation in this way, I need some clarity. I need some explanations why. Because to just simply say, oh, I was just doing an interview. Nah, you got agency. You got choices. You've been a businesswoman and decision maker your entire career. You've been able to say no to things. Why? Because if she really thought it was good, she would have kept the interview up. They didn't even run the interview.
Do you think though?
She knew that what she thought she was going to do didn't fly. And if she really thought it was about journalism, keep the interview up and let us see it. I listened to that interview. That wasn't journalism, y'all. That was somebody trying to humanize a person who is problematic as hell. She was basically humanizing him and was about to really get, and she knows her brand. For Kiki to co-sign it would have been an influence that would have helped normalize him. Look what Jason Lee has done with his awards. Like the fact that Jason Lee is giving that man a platform. But look, Jason Lee problematic as hell too. He like from one problematic man to another, I'm going to do it all, right? Look what he's done with like, what's her name? Tiffany Haddish. Like Jason Lee is in a business. Candace Owens, like interviewing Candace Owens. He's in a business of trying to, repair the images of problematic people. That's Jason Lee's whole brand.
Do you think though we should sit down with
his brand?
Is there a space to sit down with people who we don't necessarily agree with and have conversation with?
But you got to make that known. We don't really know her politics on this.
Okay.
We've assumed it, right? We don't really know how she feels about that situation. We've projected our thoughts on it, but that's also because her brand is that. Here's the problem. Okay. We as a people have evolved, and celebrities are not evolving with us. Like they're not like the way that we as a people, as a community consume things. We're more conscious. We're more educated. We're more deliberate in how we consume things. And the Hollywood model wants us to be as generic and as basic as possible. They don't want us to challenge things, authority.
Right.
They
to
don't
have
want
opinions.
us to have different nuanced opinions. And so Kiki has been trained with A&R, right? Where you wasn't too political. You couldn't have different opinions. You couldn't take on those things. The way that Britney was, the way that even Beyonce, right? In the very beginning, they were trained to be as mainstream as possible, which made them as wide appealing as possible. That is why Kiki Palmer's image has been going for years, because she's been good at that. The problem is we're in a different generation, in a different era, that we're asking for more. That is why we're now critiquing Beyonce in a different way than we would have did 10 years ago, because these were not the ways that we talked about these things. We let Floyd Mayweather get away with a lot. We've let a lot of these men, back in the day. R. Kelly got away with a lot. We let a lot of those men get away with a lot. But in 2025, we got a different mindset, because the stuff that we're experiencing as working class, middle class people is very different from the billionaire class and the multi-million-dollar class. And so we're seeing that class divide in a way that's changing our mindsets about what we expect. And I think these celebrities are not prepared, and that's why they're not meeting the moment. Kiki is not prepared for this current generation of consumers, because she's never had to provide explanations like she has to now.
Right.
She never had to clarify her positions in this way. She never thought she had to, but in the middle of what I call a mini recession, SNAP benefits are getting cut November 1st. Celebrities are still asking for us to spend money for their concert tours, their tickets, and their shit. If you asking me to spend some money, I want to know a little bit more about you. I bought a Cardi B tour ticket. I know her politics. I know where she stands. So she got my money. I'm going to need to know a little bit more. Or you're going to have to be super, 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 super talented for me not to care.
Ooh.
That's good.
We can't afford it. We can't afford to not know where these people stand anymore if they want our money. Because this is capitalism, right?
Yeah.
Supply
and something you said, too about us as a people and as a community moving forward. But these celebrities are still individuals. So we as a people within that group of people, which they are a part of, right? We got some outliers. We got a lot of cousins and stuff that, that did some crazy ass things, right? When it came to this past election, right? And where we are now and the reason that we are now. So same as that, right?
I got a lot of black votes.
Yeah. And in that, like, their celebrities are going to be outliers, some of them, right? Because they are individuals. And I think that's the thing that we've been saying. Like, we got to stop letting them guide us in a way that we hold their choices as high as we did. So the other thing that's been going on with her too is this whole thing with her, the show that she greenlit about the, what was it, Southern Fried Rice, right? And it has a lot of stereotypes and things like that, and it's getting some backlash. So do you think that that's a show that she should have greenlit, or do you think that should have been on the chopping block?
All right, so we have some audio, and this is actually Kiki addressing. So I want to hear, I want to let Kiki address the backlash of Southern Fried Rice. For those of you who don't know, Southern Fried Rice is actually a brilliant name. Not gonna hold you. It's kind of a brilliant name. But Southern Fried Rice.
Baddies.
Huh?
So is Baddies. So is Love and Hip Hop. I mean,
so is Baddies.
The most trashiest shows got the best titles.
So basically, this is, to me, is very Aquafina. Is an Asian woman who's going to HBCU and being immersed in that culture. This is what Kiki Palmer has
to chop it up real quick about this series called Southern Fried Rice that's premiering on Key TV that is receiving some controversial feedback. Now, Southern Fried Rice was created by Nakia Stevens, and while I can't speak to her inspiration for the show, I can speak to her dedication as a creative. I mean, Nakia has written, show ran, and produced 4 shows alongside her Damn Right Originals team with Key TV. And Key TV has proudly invested over $500,000 on her creations. And I say that because it's not easy to obtain that kind of investment. And Key TV, this is the ethos of the company. It's a network not just because it has stars and shows or has talent, but because it's about the people who create the shows and connecting them. I mean, we have Alex King, a Black queer creator that made the short film Keep Me in Mind. We have Antoine Lachey, who created the horror story Blue Forest. We have Cousin M by a father and son duo, Rosero and Eric McCoy. Chelsea Sanders, who created Make It Make Sense and Unlabeled by Lawrence Murray. Chelsea also did Dear Kiki. Look, what you like is subjective, but the support of Black creatives is not. And it's a task that Key TV takes on with pride, because if you want to be a creative, you have to be able to create. And that takes money. And it's Key TV's mission to find the funds for you to be in practice, for you to experience trial and error, and to take your projects off the page and get more than one chance to do it in action. So whether you like it all or some or none, I say give these creatives a chance to grow as we continue to grow in supporting them. So God bless you guys. And like I said, Nakia has Southern Fried Rice that's coming out most recently, but she has Nepotista, Ho and Tails, and Psychology of Fuckboys. That's also some great stuff for you to check out. Take care. Thanks for listening. Holla at your girl.
So that clip was of her explaining about, the writer and of the show and the creator of the show.
I'm not impressed at all.
I'll say how I feel. I really feel like we give Black creatives a really hard time when it comes to the shows that they write about. And a lot of times we say, oh, it's stereotype, but there's space for it, right? I think there's space for all of it. I think you can only write about what you know, and if that's what you know and it's entertaining, I don't think it's a problem with it. But people feel.
Oh,
what do you think, Ernest? I haven't seen it. So I won't say that I'm
Have you watched the trailer?
With just the idea. I haven't seen the trailer either.
Oh wow, that makes a lot of sense.
You gotta watch the trailer.
What I will say is that the statement is a nothing burger. It's just she was talking in circles. There's a lot of it where I was just having question marks, like what are we talking about here? It's like a lot of word salad. I think I guess if I was to try to dissect what she was saying was, well, it wasn't my idea, it was hers. She's a Black creator. We put money to support her. She should have the ability to make mistakes and not make mistakes. So give her a chance.
Okay,
that's what I heard. Sure. That's what I heard.
Like you didn't have to go through all that. Like what do we get into? Get to it, right? And so, like, where's the media trainer here? Like, I have a master's degree in communication management, so she needs some communications team, some comms teams. That was just a lot of word salad for me, and I was just kind of like, where are we going with this? So, I mean, for me, the issue is this: it's about intentionality. It goes back to the brand, right? It's to me the show. Not crazy about the show. I think the show is tone deaf. I think the concept is tone deaf at a time where HBCUs is losing funding and Black identity and culture is losing its standing in America right now. I think that this show coming out right now is just not it. I think that the trope and the whole discussion about it is an old dated trope that we've been seeing. That's like 15 years ago. Like we've already seen this concept. Non-Black person goes to Black space, meet Black friends. There's that Black plus size, dark skinned girl that is hating on that girl. Wasn't that Honey? Was that Save the Last Dance? Like, where have we seen this before? Like, I feel like we always have seen these types of tropes. And I'm not saying it's exactly identical. I'm just saying it's so played out. And I think, again, the reason why we're frustrated is that it's again, there's a lot of context missing. That channel, that network, right? How we knew it was supposed to be for us, by us, about us.
Come on. And this is the first series, correct?
This is the first series. This is the beginning. We had not seen this show. So when you change up the whole situation, there's going to be a disruption. And I just feel like I think it's disappointing to me that Kiki and these individuals involved continue to ignore the power of the Black audience. We saw this with BET. When BET started going in a different direction, we was like, what's that? Right? We've seen it happen. We see it with movies, with TV shows, with decisions that artists make. We are the consumer. We're the audience. We have a right to voice. You made it for us. We said, we don't like it. Throw it back. We have a right. Because, again, this is what gets me. All of these Black capitalists, these entrepreneurs, these business people love to talk about how they savvy and it's all about the consumer and selling the product. But then the moment we don't like something, then they become artists and deep thinkers. And it's not about the money. It's about supporting Black. No. Either you're a business person or you're not. You made a product that your target demographic was not filling. You have a large Black woman audience that want to see more Black women centered in such settings. They do not want to play the supporting role. Kiki, you know this. My question is, where can we see a Kiki Palmer on a show like that where she's the lead? What shows are out there where a Kiki Palmer could be at an HBCU and centered? Until we have a show like that right now for our people, I'll be damned if we give it to somebody else to be centered. That's the point. We still have not enough opportunities for Black folks to be centered. It's not enough just to have Black creators. We got Black creators, but can we have Black creators creating programs that center Black people on a Black-owned platform? Is that asking for too much? Look, Southern Fried Rice could have went somewhere else. It could have been HBO Max or Netflix. Have at it. But we expect something different from a person that has built a reputation of saying for us, by us, about us, and then they do something that's kind of different.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get why people continue to, these celebrities continue to have this outrage about things that they created that. Listen, who's out here doing it a different way? Kenya Barris. If Kenya Barris does another blackish, wackish, whatever you want to call it, show, I'm not going to be shocked. I'm not.
You got another one coming out about Jennifer Lewis's character. Is a prequel about her life.
Okay, well, what is this? Auntie-ish? Is she gonna have a?
I forget the name of it.
But husband? Like, what's she gonna do?
Ish is in the name. Ish is
right.
in the name.
Is it going? There's gonna be some level of a mixed race dynamic in the mix, and I'm not going to be shocked by that because that's who he's been. That's who he is. That's what it's gonna be. Tyler Perry. There's gonna always be some latent homophobia, some bad wigs, and that's just what it's gonna be. I don't expect it. I've given up on Tyler Perry years ago. People complain about his movies. I'd be like, y'all, this man been doing this for nearly 20. It's been 20 years of this.
And somebody watching them.
Somebody watching them, and he has an audience. It's not for me. Let's move on.
Okay.
Right.
Kiki is doing something that is different from what she's been doing. Her team, they've done something that's different. So there is going to be a different reaction. Okay. Now, if they make a Southern Fried Rice 2, we ain't gonna be that surprised because we didn't already seen them do it the first time.
Right.
So if they do it again, or they do what they're gonna do, stuffed crab cake or whatever show, and they're gonna have some hillbilly on the show, then we're not gonna be surprised. He go to a white boy going there. It's gonna be a white boy going to Howard or something. Jeez. We're not gonna be surprised because we didn't already seen her do it. Now, if she goes like Shonda Rhimes, we already know what kind of show Shonda Rhimes. It's always gonna be a black woman with a white love interest or vice versa. It's always going to be a interracial love sex dynamic. We are not shocked. We done seen it multiple times on most, whether they're or in Scandal. It's going to always happen.
What did Papa say? He said, I did not raise you to be a white man's Bedouin.
Well, Shonda Rhimes create characters that I guess fall in that description.
They do.
There's no shade, that's just her aesthetic. That's what she likes to do. So we know these things. So we are not shocked by it.
That's what she likes to do.
She likes to do.
Oh, she loves a good white man dicking down a black woman.
But that's her thing, right? And that's the reputation, right? And it's no surprise that her and Serena Williams are good friends. She just interviewed her in Philly. She just interviewed Serena Williams in Philly when Serena did her when Shonda did a book called The Year of Yes, the 10-year anniversary. They came to Philly and Serena was in conversation with her. And people were like, I'm surprised. I'm like, I'm not. I mean, like, these are not bad things.
She's her inspiration for her writing.
It's just truth. And so we have to be, see, this is the thing. If it makes you uncomfortable, then you feel like you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. They shouldn't be uncomfortable because this is what they do. Kiki, this is what you've chosen to do. So, you got to live with it, own it. And so I just feel like that interview, that statement, that whatever that was, that nothing burger of a speech was, in my opinion, a cop-out because it did not actually defend the merits of the show and the decision to run it. Like, actually explain to us, we understand why you funded it. We understand that you're funding these projects. We get that. But you did not actually address the concern of the show. We don't have an issue with a black creator. We have an issue with the type of programming you're running on there. Like, even with like Lumiere, who does Zeus, right? I do not expect that to be PBS programming for black people.
Right.
We know what type of show it is. Viewer discretion is advised. We know what it is. There was a point in time with BET. We thought BET was going to be something different. And then BET went in a different direction. We was outraged for many years. And then we recognized, you know what? This is all it is. And we need to find something new. Kiki, I think Key TV, we thought it was going to be something different. It still can be. Maybe this is a phone call. Maybe this is just a mistake.
This could be a one-off.
And it could be a one-off, right? And here's the thing we can do as consumers. Let's not watch it. Let's not gas it up and hype it. Maybe this is an experiment for them to build it. Because here's the thing. Here's a sad reality, right? And here's what Kiki will probably say. Y'all wasn't going up for it until this show came up. This show done got more press for this. Like, this is what they'll do, right? She's going to, like, Kiki is an entrepreneur. Y'all, she's a capitalist.
Back to capitalism.
She's going to do things to get attention. Notice how every time she got some scandal, like the situation with her baby daddy or whatever, next thing you know, some music was coming out. A song came out. She's always trying to sell something and reframe it, because that's the type of way in which they work. So every time a traumatic or embarrassing or sad or hurtful thing happens, rather than actually just sit in that and address it or move on and take a break, there's always this appearance of standing tall and being and framing it and making a joke out of it and pushing it and selling it and moving on. Like, that's always been her thing. And it's kind of disappointing because we don't really know how authentic she can really feel, because she doesn't give us that. That's the old school Hollywood. We don't really know how you really feel, because it's always going to be connected to a product. It's always going to be connected to an ad campaign. When do we want celebrities to be vulnerable, but truth of the matter is a lot of them aren't. A lot of them are selling products. That's why sometimes I can really enjoy Cardi B. She's not perfect, but I can really appreciate that.
What's your face? What's wrong with your face, Alex?
I'm just listening.
When he said Cardi B, you made your face.
Because I don't enjoy her.
I mean, listen,
I just don't.
She's not for everybody.
I'll just be like,
right?
girl.
You have a problem with her saying nigga?
I have a problem with a lot of things she does, but
okay.
I mean,
do you think her being a Latina, she shouldn't be using the word nigga?
Well, I think
she's absolutely
Afro-Latina. I think she's Afro-Latina, and I think that's why some people don't blow her up about that, because she is a part of the diaspora. She is a part of that spectrum. Now, whether
she claims it, there's others that don't claim it. That's
right, like J-Lo. When is J-Lo? I mean, J-Lo could, she's Puerto Rican, but J-Lo, she picks. Listen, she pick and choose.
Unless you done did your DNA and you know for sure that you wasn't touched by a slave.
Like,
okay?
I will give Cardi.
Purely Spanish and Taino, then
right.
Baby.
I think Cardi is definitely a part of diaspora, and that's why I think a lot of people don't go and give her that hard time. I think she's Afro-Latina. She acknowledged that her kids are. I don't think she uses it to be derogatory in that way anyway. I think she's in community.
Do y'all not think Cardi B is also selling a stereotype?
No, I think Cardi she exuberates it, right? She like, I think people who are like, we as gay people, right? There's times when we be in certain spaces and some people might say, you being extra gay. Yes. But that's a part of who we are, though.
Because like I told you, Alex,
you're gonna get different me's. We gonna move in different spaces, and so we do accentuate in certain spaces. When we in certain communities, the way that I'm talking, how I'm showing up, some people might say Ernest is extra right now, but this is me. This is a part of me. I'm in that space. I'm in community. I'm gonna show up a different type of way.
But she's capitalizing off of it by being by seeming relatable to us.
But there's a lot of people who pick it, like a friend of the show that I told you. When a friend of the show, he's not as exuberant and flamboyant. And like when I'm talking to him on the phone in real life, he's presents a certain way. But on the internet, he's very much, hello, everyone.
Oh, you queer. Wait a minute. There's a lot of people you could be talking about right now. I'm not going to do that.
There's a lot of people. But there's a lot of people like that. I don't think that's necessarily...
Right, but that's selling an image, though. That's what I'm saying.
I do think it comes from a genuine space because it's believable.
Correct.
It's not an act. Y'all let Ariana Grande get away with 7 rings. Don't y'all do that. Y'all let Justin Timberlake get away with it with the cornrows. Don't do that. I feel like Cardi is closer to that than she isn't.
Yes.
I feel like there is a spectrum. You listen, you'll be surprised how I can show up and turn up. There's different me's.
I get that, and I agree with that. Like, when we're comfortable and when we're in comfortable spaces and we're in certain spaces, of course we act different. But what I'm saying is that the capitalization on it, like the same way that Key TV, you know, and the writing was would be capitalizing off of that. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Like to me, it's the same. It's similar.
I hear that, but I also think that we see a lot of black men do that too. With the hyper masculinity.
Oh, absolutely.
The hyper stuff, like, but we never say that to them in the same way. We never be like 50 Cent, you doing too much.
But that's harder to tell, right? Because we don't know like,
have we seen Cardi any different throughout? I mean, I used to watch her on Love and Hip Hop.
Me too.
She was throwing shoes at girls and she was that.
Cardi's been consistent.
She's been this way. I mean, I don't know another way that she's been different. I've been following her.
Say, Alex,
right? Consistently calculated.
Taylor Swift.
Calculated.
All right, so
yeah,
what this has been good about Kiki. And after this next part of the conversation, we're gonna go to break. But before we go to break, we're gonna talk about a black man. All right, and there's something that I want to talk about, right? All right. Because there's something
your
that I do.
Really get me, okay?
I eat down my Stephen.
They are so good.
So what I want to talk about right now is I want to talk about Stephen A. Smith, right? Now. I will talk bad about black women. And then when the people talk about me, I will come and I say, I really respect Michelle Obama she's a brilliant woman. And then now the only thing that I want to know is how do we offer critique to the next person?
I mean, he's cosplaying as a butch queen, and y'all didn't say nothing about that.
So we want to talk about.
I'll pay attention to that man.
We want to talk about Stephen A. Smith, right? He has really to me become a grifter.
Totally.
A grifter and
Charlamagne the guy in the suit.
Ooh, yes, and a bad
Absolutely.
hairline. Charlamagne the God in the suit and a bad hairline. Charlamagne
definitely has the white wife haircut.
He has a what?
The white wife haircut.
Oh,
baby, it's something about the white families that means that you don't have to have a line. They just let their hair grow in whatever way it grows, and they round it off like that.
Does he even have a wife?
No, he's unmarried. He's unmarried.
He's giving marriage advice to people all the time, and he even got a ring of his own.
He's unmarried. Give me 1 second.
Not a championship ring, not a spouse.
So we want to talk about Stephen A. Smith versus black women. All right, we want to talk about Stephen A. Smith versus black women. He's been very vocal against Michelle Obama.
Yes.
He's been very vocal against Kamala Harris. You know, he said that he was voting for Kamala Harris, and then all of a sudden he was forced. He felt like his hands was forced. And then he's also recently been very vocal about Jasmine Crockett, giving her a lot of just criticism about how she conducts herself, how she carries herself, but not giving that same energy to Donald J. Trump.
Well, because he's just the master of behavior. He knows how to tell other people how to act, even though he acts and asks his damn self. He could have been giving Shannon Sharp some of that advice over the years, but he had no room to get him together. But he's got room for elected officials and women more educated than him. I just find that to be interesting.
So what do you think? So first, I just want to get into what is the difference between offering critique? Because trust me, I had my own critique for Kamala Harris. Now, a lot of it I didn't publicly pontificate. That's a word that Stephen A. was used. Pontificate. I didn't publicly pontificate it during the elections because I didn't feel like it was the time for that.
Yeah, right. It was because people can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Correct. And it was, for me, my politic during the election was we can't let this.
Yeah, because look what happened.
Correct.
Look what happened.
But do you think there is a line between offering critique and then just being, embracing misogynoir?
So I think the problem is the question becomes several questions. And this is what journalists ask all the time. What is your motive? What's your motive? Because that's going to tell me a lot of things. What's your motive? Also, what is your critique on? because we got to be specific. A lot of Stephen A. Smith's critique is not actually rooted in conversation about policy or approach. It's very personal. It gets real low down in a way that isn't actually talking about strategy. Now, Charlamagne the God is a nut, and a lot of times his own, even some of his advice be a little nutty. But I will say there's been times where he's offered advice, it's not good advice, or strategies that are just kind of dumb, but at least he attempts to move past a personal conversation. Right. A lot of Stephen A. Smith's rhetoric is so personal or so rooted in things that isn't about whatever he's trying to say. But that's because that's never the intent. That goes back to what's the motive. Is the motive to just disparage, or is the motive to actually critique with the intention to improve?
Right.
He's just disparaging. He's treating these individuals like they're sports athletes where he just want to shit talk them. So that's not critique to me. Should know somebody ain't critique unless you're giving them some type of critique that is supposed to improve them or do whatever, right? So when you critique a restaurant, you can say, these are some of the things I did not like. These are the problems. And here's some of the things they didn't consider and work on, right? So when I critique Beyoncé, right, I didn't say you can't be rich. I'm saying invest. Talk more about the investments rather than the actual fruits of your labor as your tools and your money, right? When I talk about Kiki, I'm saying, Kiki, pay attention to your audience. Remember what your focus is on with this brand and answer to them in a way that is authentic and real to what your consumers are talking about. That's critique. It's not giving critique.
That's real. That's real. Do you think that so I personally think that Stephen A. Smith is a right-wing conservative. I personally think that Stephen A. Smith is a Trump supporter.
You give him way too much credit.
Okay.
I don't think he's any of those things. I think I don't think he has really any actual sense of politics. I think he might. I don't think he's a deep Trumper. I don't think I think he is one of these men, and I'm going to break it down.
Come on, talk to us.
I'll tell you what kind of man he is, because we know these men.
We know him in real life.
We know him. It's the situation we've seen in this country where there's a lot of black men, not a lot. I ain't gonna say a lot. The majority of black men actually did vote for Kamala, so let's not say a lot of black men.
Yes,
but there is more than we
expected
that feel neglected in these conversations, and so the way in which they want attention is acting out.
Yeah, that's the retaliation.
Does not reward good behavior when it comes to black men. The Democratic Party and progressive media do not actually reward good behavior, and that's across the board. Society does not reward good behaving black men. Like, look at you. You listen to Chris Brown. Y'all rewarding bad behavior. Y'all
Listen, I have not bought a concert ticket. Okay.
Well, congratulations. I'm proud of you. But let me just
say neither. I didn't go on tour. I didn't go to Breedy Bone.
Fine.
I wanted to.
Here's what I'm saying. Society rewards bad behavior.
Okay.
There's only been a few good black men that we've seen be rewarded in society, right? Barack Obama, one of the few. Denzel, we keeping him together. We don't reward black men in the same way that we reward bad black men, right? And so
for real.
There's no.
I mean, that starts in our household and communities, though.
Right,
we see that at home.
There's no incentive. There's no incentive to actually praise black men who's doing the right thing. We oftentimes talk about the guys who are doing the bad things, and then the ones who are screwing up and fucking up. We're spending so much time trying to redeem them, save them, heal them, and give attention. So Stephen A. Smith, maybe in one time, I don't remember that time. I wasn't around, where he was that decent black man that was decent, right? People liked him. He was nice.
Yeah, and there was a time.
But he saw other people getting shine. He saw other people getting shine. Others that were dumber than him, not as smart as him, not as crafty as him, not as thoughtful as him. And he began to say, wait a minute. Wait, I'm seeing these men make more money, get more press, get more attention. So you know what they said? I need to rebrand myself to get there. That's why Mark Lamar Hill is on the Joe Budden podcast. Because we're seeing a world where all of these people, we're seeing
wait. Push back, because you just said something, Alex. So are we saying that Mark Lamar Hill shouldn't be on the Joe Budden podcast?
Yeah, I'm not saying he shouldn't. Well, I don't think it's in his best interest. But if he is, if the argument is that he is, I'm going to say this though. I think that, again, we're seeing a lot of these smart Black men or good Black men that we see, they're not diluting themselves completely, but they're going into these spaces because that's where the attention is at.
Mhm.
Don't you think we
We're giving
need
time
in
to,
those
so I think,
spaces?
what?
We need. Do you think we need people like a Mark Lamont Hill to be in those spaces?
Well, here's the sad
We
part.
need him now.
Hold on, let me say this. Here's the better question.
Okay,
Where are the Black spaces where the Mark Lamont Hills are?
Right. That's yes.
they're out there as well.
Where?
But I think so.
Where? Like, I'm just no. Don't no. Hold on. Where?
Native land. So you think if
For just Black men? That's more of a Black woman show
okay,
where they just had 2 Black men finally.
yeah, Bakari and
They just did that because I do think in the back of their mind they recognize it. There's been more spaces for Black women intellectuals in the world. Like, even if you look at Kamala Harris's book tour, where are the Black intellectual men interviewing her on her book tour?
so
Where are we on cable news? We barely on cable news anymore. Like, we don't have a space for intellectual brothers.
But I think
There's
you
more
have
dirt trash podcasts of Black men that are doing the far opposite than the positive. So what is the incentive is what I'm getting to for those Black men to have their own, right? Because not all of us can be on a Joe Budden podcast. My Black gay ass should not have to go on a Joe Budden podcast to get the visibility. Mark Lamont Hill is very masculine. He is a cishet man. He can go there. But what about the rest of us? What about the Charles Blows? Where do they go? Right? Everybody can't go there. So what I'm saying is that we have allowed the Charlemagnes and everybody else to occupy others. They can cross over, but they can go on MSNBC. They can be on CNN now. They can go anywhere they want. But the rest of us are not doing it. And I think, look what happened to Mark. Like, Mark is a textbook example of a Black man who was trying to be there, right? He was doing intellectual spaces. He still do a couple of them, but he, in many ways, because of how he worked, we didn't protect him in the same way that we protect the Joe Buddens.
Correct, because he got fired from CNN.
Right, and we kept watching CNN. Yeah. We didn't boycott CNN. We kept watching. We kept allowing other Black people to go on there, and Don Lemon went on it until they lost, until they took them all off.
They took it. The only one we have left is Abby Phillip.
And also it's another one. Oh my goodness, there's another Black woman who's comes on right after her. That has a show. Okay. Yeah, she's great. But like, we don't see. But that's it though. We don't have any more like Black men that's really leading on these shows like we used to. So now where have they gone? They either create their own small podcast, or they're trying to get on the Breakfast Club. They're trying to get on these other platforms like the Jason Lee. Like, I saw Don Lemon on Jason Lee or something like that. Like, they're going on these platforms now to get the visibility and the relevance because we can't create a space for them to be in their own. And that says something.
What do you think about, because I know you, for instance, right?
Yeah.
I've watched you and you're intellectual. I would consider you a Black intellectual.
Yeah.
But you also know how to, like, you know, take your hair down and have fun and show that we're not a monolith. Do you think there's space for a Mark Lamont Hill to be able to be on CNN, to be able to be in an intellectual space, but then also host the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion show, the Love and Hip Hop reunion show?
I mean, I think to me, it's just a matter of like, why can't we spread the pot rather than keep trying to reallocate the pot? I have a lane.
Okay.
And I just feel like that's the problem with media. And that's why we have these issues every 10 years or after every election cycle. Because we put up a handful of Black people and we overuse them for every single thing.
Yes. I've
Why can't we spread the love? Like, I want you know what? I want a young, up and coming, entertaining Black queer person to do that interview. Why I got to do it? That's my one critique I will give Mark. Love Mark. You know, we can have our disagreements at times, but that's the one critique I would give Mark, is that Mark has occupied a lot of spaces that could have opened doors for other people to have opportunities.
Okay,
like,
that's fair.
Okay, it's not to say that you can't do the basketball reunion, but why couldn't someone else do that? Why couldn't a new Black queer? We went to the GLAAD Creative Summit. There's so many Black media entertainment voices that could have had that seat. Why do we keep putting the same people in the same position? Charlamagne, you at the Breakfast Club. It was a messy radio show. Why are you on MSNBC? Why can't I be on MSNBC or go on these platforms? Like, there's so many Black folks that got variety, and yet we're trying to make one person be everything for everybody.
It's because we don't own the spaces that they're occupying.
Exactly.
They're choosing the people who they trust.
That's right.
To be able to deliver the message safely
They're
without
lazy.
it going awry. That's the same thing that I was saying once before about how I felt about like a lot of these actors. And we had this conversation before, Micah, and I was like, they could have picked somebody else.
Exactly.
Just like they picked, it was a conversation we were talking about, what's his face? When they picked him for Green Lantern. And I was just like, there's so many people. Aaron Pierre, they gave him to us so much in that season. And I was like, there's so many actors struggling in LA, living on couches, working at diners, doing what they working hard, scraping and scrounging, and are good actors that they could have given an opportunity for a new face instead of giving us like throwing this constant again and again. They Wopo Denzel out.
I'm thinking about, for example, Laura Coates. Laura Coates is who I was about, the other Black anchor next to Abby Phillip, who also
yes.
And I wanted to say, to your point about that, Alex, is that we don't diversify the talent pool, and then that's how people get in trouble, because we continue to overexpose them in a way that then makes them a target in ways that, like Kevin Hart, we didn't have any other Black comedians. Tiffany Haddish, those were the only two that they kept running on everything, to the point that they got
Tiffany and Kat.
Cat Williams. Cat Williams never got the same amount of. I mean, I'm talking like Kevin Hart was the only Black comedian that was on major films, like crossover. Like, he was doing movies with The Rock.
Yeah.
Like, he was doing movies with Nicole Kidman in it. Like, he was doing everything. TV, movies, hosting award shows. He was hosting the VMAs. Like,
right, it was like another Eddie Murphy, another Chris Tucker, like being able to get in those spaces.
We don't have variety anymore. And so, like with Stephen A. Smith, I think the issue with Stephen A. Smith is, I think Stephen A. Smith is playing a role because it's trendy. Yeah. I don't really think that Stephen A. Smith is really a Trumper. I don't think it's all those things. I think Stephen A. Smith is realizing that I'm getting more attention acting like this than if I did.
For sure.
And so that's what it is. Because he would have been like a person like that do not just become a Trump overnight.
It goes back to that capitalism that we were talking about earlier as well.
Like Candace Owens, like Candace Owens. I think Candace Owens is problematic completely, but I think Candace Owens ran a shtick. She said, "There's too many other Black women on the Democratic side. Let me be the one person on this side, make all the money, make all the bag." Now, have you noticed that now there's an influx of a lot of Black conservative wannabes jumping on that? You know, all these Black men, these Black gay men, all these Black men now trying to be Trumpers. They all trying to grift. Like, they all trying to be.
Listen,
like, they're all trying to get that bag. And like, I've seen it a lot where I'm seeing a rise of people. Like, I will tell you, with even me, people have tried. Like, I'm in the industry and I don't tell all the stories in the tea, but there was somebody that reached out to me and said, "Hey, you're very smart. You're really talented. Like, you're really good at critiquing the Democrats." Yeah, because I'm a Black man in America. Like, I'm not belonging to any of these parties like that. Like, I'm not voting Republican, but I ain't about to walk around here and be like, "Yes, Democrats, you're so great." No, they got some heat. I got some smoke for them too. But they were like, "Yeah, but I wonder, have you ever thought about like being a spokesperson for the Green Party?" I said, "Nah, I can't do that." Mark Lamont Hill did. I'm not saying he's fake. I'm not saying he's phony. But Mark carved the lane for himself to be a supporter of Jill Stein in the Green Party because he found a niche. In entertainment, they found a niche. They found, how can we market you? The industry did not know how to market me, right? Because they couldn't make me a far radical leftist, like the type that would just vote blue no matter who. Like, and I do vote blue, but I'm not like a crazy, dogmatic, obsessive Kamala Stan Kay Hiver, right? I voted for Kamala. I'm not a Kay Hiver, right? And you know, right. Or they want you to be on the other end of the spectrum where you completely are like this crazy, you know, Pearson, what's his name? That Black boy who be saying all that crazy conservative shit. They want you to be that. And I'm not that, because I am in many ways reflective of a lot of young Black voters. The type that's like, look, I'm not stupid, but I'm also not dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not stupid to vote for Trump, but I'm also not dumb enough to believe every single thing the Democratic Party is telling me. They don't want people like us. We're boring to them. We're boring. They want people to be complete extremists. They want that makes good TV. That's why Mark was relevant until he crossed a certain line that then made them go, wait a minute now.
So he talked about
radical.
When he started talking about Palestine and Israel and the Jews.
So then that's when he got blackballed, right? But then I look at Stephen A. Smith. How they amplifying Stephen A. Smith right now because he's going that extreme. And you notice that there's not really any black men that they want to amplify as being, because there's no money there, right? To find a black man that can be pro-Democrat in the way. Like, we don't really have that voice. There's tons of black women that they've decided to amplify, but they're not really amplifying any black men in the mainstream like that. And so Charlemagne the God is kind of what they'll take because he'll say something, contrarian, and they'll tolerate him. But everybody else, it's extremes. And so people be telling me all the time, Ernest, why you not on CNN? Why you not on this? Why you not on that? Because they want a caricature.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to act.
Right.
I'm not trying to be a clown. This is not makeup. Touch this skin. Touch this skin. This is all me right here. No foundation. This is all realness right here. That's what they don't want that from me. So that's why I go on shows like Piers Morgan. I go on these other. I come on the Black Gay Agenda. I go on shows that just allow me to be. I'm on Piers Morgan not because Piers Morgan is the smartest person in the world, but Piers Morgan don't give me talking points.
Right. Oof.
We want to talk about it. Piers Morgan don't come telling me you're going to talk about this, this, and this, and and we want you to talk about. He just be like, we're going to have this subject. Come on the show. And what you hear me say is unscripted, unedited, unbossed, uncompromised. I will tell y'all, I used to make appearances on CNN. I was on CNN a couple of times, MSNBC. I've been on the shows. They want a certain type. And when you don't play that game, they stop calling you on.
Wow.
They want you to say certain things. They want to gear you to a position. And sometimes they try to bait you. You go on air and they'll say a question. They'll say, well, Ernest, I know that you're a supporter and da-da-da. I'm like, I didn't say that. That's not. No, that's actually, and I get on and I clarify it. I used to correct. I say, well, no, what I meant was, and they didn't like that because they wanted you to play a character. So they love to put the screens next to each other. You see how they got us on the 3 screens? And they want you yelling and arguing and in this, that, and the third. And they want you to play a character. I want to be on a platform where I can say my point, how I want to say it. And they know what they're getting and I can be myself. They didn't want that from me. They wanted me to be the Black, queer, progressive, love the Democrats. I have no complaints. Republicans are evil. What they wanted me to be a certain person. I was not going to be that. Like Candace Owens was a robot. Well, she was a robot.
Yeah.
Tommy Lauren, I've been on her show. Robot.
I hate her.
She's never going to admit anything wrong. She's never going to ever have nuance. They don't want people that have nuance.
Yeah, most of them. When somebody has nuance out of that camp, everybody's shocked. Everybody's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
like Miss Ma'am never. Right, Miss Ma'am did that. She had a moment of thought, and everybody's like, "Wait a minute, what's going on?"
The bag runs out. You stop getting the gigs.
Yes.
Well, you stop getting the gigs.
One thing that we're not going to ever have happen here is the bag running out. So we're going to have to go to break, right? We're going to have to go to break. We've talked about Stephen A. Smith to exhaustion. At the end of the day, nobody can take away my black heart away from me. All right. At the end of the day, everybody knows I stand on what I stand on. At the end of the day, I am Stephen A. Smith. Okay. What I say, what I pontificate, right? The words that come out of my mouth, those are my words. Nobody's going to tell me what I do or what I don't do. But one thing that I do know at the end of the day, none of you can tell me anything about being successful. All right. Because that's never going to happen. Okay. And I love Michelle Obama. I'm a black man with a black daughter. Okay. But we're going to go on break.
You disrespect black women that's smarter than me.
Right.
He's such a clown. This is the Black Gay Agenda, and we will be back after this.
Welcome back, everybody. You are listening to, watching the Black Gay Agenda podcast, and we are talking to Ernest here, who has been great. Ernest Owens, who has been just giving us some good points and giving us the rundown. I mean, he's giving it to us.
Have our hearts not burned? Is that what they say?
Okay, did our hearts not burn? Yes. Yes, but we're gonna get into the political thing because everybody knows this is what's going on right now. This is the thing that's the most important. It's in our minds. It's what we are feeling. It's the point of contention for us right now. So we're gonna get into it a little bit. So the first thing I kind of want to talk about is kind of what we're seeing right now with the government shutdown. Do you think the shutdown affects Black and queer communities the most?
I don't know if it's the most. But I would definitely say we're in the most, right? I'm thinking about our senior citizens,
Mm-hmm.
The healthcare issues. They require Medicare, food stamps, a lot of government assistance in ways. So I definitely would say the elderly might be the top, maybe children, of impoverished families. But I definitely would say we're in that, for sure.
Yeah.
We're in the top 5 of the worst 5, right? To be in. It's tough. I would say elections have consequences. And people say, we're going to be all right. It ain't going to be that bad. Oh, it's pretty damn bad.
That excuse used to piss me off. We're gonna be all right. We lived through other people, yeah, but these other people we're not doing.
We'll do it again.
But God is still on the throne. That's the one that pissed me off.
But you're also 6 feet under now. That's what happened during the pandemic, and we lost so many relatives.
Right? No, for real.
We lost a lot of relatives to COVID.
Yeah.
COVID took a lot of people out. I knew when I was covering the pandemic in Philly, there was a Black woman who was a Black Republican. She actually ran for mayor, got the Republican nomination. They took it from her. And she was still a Republican, a big Trumper. And when the COVID stuff went around, we was friends on Facebook. She would always DM me about, trying to change my mind about the vaccine and saying, send me these weird videos, misinformation about it. And I would say, ma'am, that is not real. You are a senior citizen. You have a pre-existing health situation. You need to get a vaccination, ma'am. Oh, I ain't putting that in my body. I'm going to be all right. God got me. A couple months later, she messaged me from a hospital at Temple. She says, I got this thing. They say I got this COVID thing. Just keep me in your prayers. I'm going to try to make it. About 2 days later, she passed away.
My God, today.
Wow.
And I said to myself,
my God, today.
I said, a lot, I feel, and I never really say this, but I feel like a lot of people that would have voted for him, because these are the people that didn't get it. A lot of those people did not believe in the vaccinations, died.
They didn't believe in COVID.
They did not. She was a person that went to his rallies.
My God.
And I said, your misinformation is killing some of your very own supporters. While you're getting vaccinations your damn self, there are people in Philadelphia that are big supporters of you that could be out here trying to get these votes, and they're dying. And I had a sense then that he wasn't going to win, because I said to myself, this is killing you're killing voters. Like the people that's not getting these vaccinations,
your constituents,
are your constituents. And so that was what did it for me. And so now with this situation, he's hurting his constituents. There are more white folks on food stamps than Black folks. They acting like they hurting us. You hurting your people.
Yeah,
you hurting Bubba and Mama.
They forget.
Appalachia going through it.
They forget.
Jethro.
That's who's getting hit. So You know, it was funny. I was on Tommy Lauren's show and she was talking that nonsense. And when I was on her show, she was talking about the government jobs, right? And she going this thing like, oh, those are DEI jobs. I said, Tommy, y'all better stop with this. Whether a Democrat was in office or not, there was never a bunch of DEI jobs in the government for us. So y'all got to stop all that. Now, there were a lot of Black women who did lose jobs in government. We ain't going to deny that. But to act like all of them was some DEI jobs, cut it out. A lot of people who have these jobs on both sides of the fence were conservatives who are like the J.D. Vances, got those law degrees from them Ivy League schools they keep talking shit about. They giving money back to their family in Pennsylvania and West Virginia and locations like that. J.D. Vance, you know, if he read Hillbilly Elegy, Trump did, he knows where J.D. Vance grew up and where those people live. These people are not somewhere, they're going to lose their food stamps. Mm-hmm. They're going to get hit by this. They're not going to benefit from this. Them steel jobs, them factory jobs he kept talking about, who got them factory jobs? The only job market increasing is AI and robotics. And
I was going to say manufacturing has been fading for a while.
Of course. but Amazon, they might cut 600,000 jobs by the 2030s and replace them with AI-generated robots. Mm-hmm. And he's in bed with Bezos in them. The big tech are his friends. Mm-hmm. So I'm confused. How he gonna get y'all these manufactured steel jobs when he's also getting money from these big tech companies that are literally wiping out these companies? Ununionized labor. Anti-union, y'all the ones who got the benefits. They cutting unionized jobs. How y'all gonna get the benefits? And they hate Obamacare. But they like the Affordable Care Act, which is also Obama. It's the same thing. But you're going to lose that. And the Republicans still don't actually have an alternative to it.
He just wants to rename it. I think he just hates that it's nicknamed Obamacare.
Right. He hates that it's there. But the reality is that the government right now, the shutdown, they're not letting that shit go for them to figure that out. They're not letting it go. They're not going to let it go. So we're going to just keep waiting and fighting, and subsidies and stuff's going to happen. Listen, it's interesting to me that there was an insurrection because he lost the election. What I think people need to be worried about is, will these angry white people rebel a different way? Mm-hmm. I think of The Lion King. Remember how the hyenas and Scar at the end of that film, they got tired of Scar and his BS and they turned on Scar and ate his ass up? I just don't think they understand that these angry white people might actually do the opposite. Because he's really playing right now. You demolishing the east wing of the White House to build a gold ballroom that really nobody needed right now. And if the Democrats even changed the room or changed the painting in a room, they'd be ready to go up in smoke.
Obama couldn't even change his
standards are real.
Obama couldn't wear a tan suit.
But this man doing all this, and I'm saying to myself, are y'all winning? Here's my $1 million question. Who's benefiting from the shit that he's talking about that is poor? Where are the poor white folks in America? Did y'all get, because when these SNAP benefits cut November 1st, because see, Marjorie Taylor Greene, no, she already prepared for the shit. She like, let me tell y'all something. He already finished in his second term. He won a third term, but he can't get it, right? Uh-huh. Here's the thing, though. He's in lame duck session.
They're going to try that, too.
He's in lame duck session, though.
Correct.
He in lame duck session. All of these other Republicans have to answer this shit in they state. She know Georgia going through it. She trying to let them know right now, don't come for me. It's him.
Right.
Because the ones that standing 10 toes down for him, when they get Democratic challenges, all they're going to say is, your favorite person voted for this person and voted for that man and cut your food stamps. It was them. Blame the Republicans. They're going to lose.
And I really want them to really highlight small business owners, because people that have LLCs and sole proprietorships use the market because they don't have that income to report. Well, they're reporting income that way. They need the market. They don't have a company health plan to get in. They got to use the market. That's right. They got to use the market.
and real quick, Alex, and I'm gonna kick it back to you just because you said something. And I've been seeing there's a lot of conversation and rhetoric, and for the people who don't know and the people who are concerned, is there any way, okay, is there any pathway that Donald J. Trump can end up staying in office, being in office for a third term? Because we have heard there be things where they're trying to get the, the Constitution changed. They're trying to this, that, and the third. Is there a way that we can see Donald Trump presidency past 2028?
Anything is possible.
Okay.
However, the way in which to get it there will require so much labor and time that, quite frankly, I don't think anybody's going to be able to get it done in time. It's going to require states ratifying to change the Constitution. 2/3 of the states will have to body behind it. They have to, the Congress has to call for the ratification change. Then there's going to have to be states that have to vote to do it. They will have to conduct a very strategic vote on it. It will be a lot to do.
Okay.
And to be quite honest, the labor and the work to get that to happen, I don't think they have the votes around the states. I don't think they will have the votes by the time he wants it done, because unless he's giving people some money, making these states better, saving lives, whatever, I don't think he can get it done. And I think that that would make people scared.
Okay, good.
Because here's the thing. He cannot get a third. Let's be very clear. Here's what people don't realize. It's not him getting a third term. It's changing the Constitution so that presidents can serve a third term.
Correct.
He will then have to run again.
You still have to vote for him.
Vote for him. So we're not just automatically giving him a third term. We're actually changing the Constitution. And here's the problem. If he loses and it goes to the Democrat,
they're going to be trying to undo that shit.
Now we get a good one in.
So you think our bigger concern is finding somebody that is suitable to beat JD Vance? Is that the bigger thing that we should be focusing on?
I don't think we're going to change the Constitution for a third term. I think that's not going to happen. I just think that, again, it's just because he's entertaining it. It's a dry news day. Let me say that we ain't going to talk about this next week.
Okay.
Because we're going to be talking about SNAP. And we're about to see these food pantries. We're going to cover. Prepare yourself for next week. It ain't going to be trick-or-treating for candy. It's going to be trick-or-treating for food. Ooh. Prepare yourself for the massive amount of coverage on SNAP. And pay attention to these general elections on November 4th. Pay attention, because I'm going to tell you right now, any Republican running, they about to feel it. If I was an elected official that was running against a Republican, I'm going to tell people, how you feeling right now? I'm here to fix it. This person belongs to the party that want to keep us in bondage. I'm a part of the party that don't want it. When Biden was in office, y'all was having food stamps. When Trump was in office, you didn't. When Biden was in office, you was arguing about his health. Now you worried about your health.
Whew. Wow.
That's what I would say. Listen, they need to call me.
Look.
Because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to say, open your refrigerator. What it look like? Look at your grocery bill. What it look like? Y'all want to talk about kitchen table issues? Let's talk about kitchen table issues. How much is your groceries right now? Call your grandmama, your auntie. How they fridge looking right now? Is your health okay? Last year, we were talking about Biden's health. Now we're worried about our health. That is the difference between 2024 and 2025. We don't even know what's going to happen by next year. Keep fucking around and finding out. I don't want to fuck around and find out. That's all they got to say. And I'm going to vote blue no matter fuck who. I ain't give a fuck about no green, no yellow, no orange, no white. I am going to vote blue. I'm going to say, listen, y'all can have this shit.
Right.
We worry about the wrong thing. People are over here arguing about reparations. How are we going to get reparations if you can't even get food stamps?
Oh, child.
We talking about reparations. We're about to lose voter rights. Like, let's keep the main thing. Angela Rye and all them arguing on native land about reparations. Listen.
Jesus.
If Kamala would have been elected We could have had the reparations conversation.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I mean when I say certain people are so unrelatable or out of touch. You want to sit up here and have a conversation about reparations when there are people really right now that are struggling to keep their lights on.
Come on.
What the fuck are y'all talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? I'm literally calling in my circle ways to mobilize in my district, in my neighborhood. I'm in West Philly. We're trying to figure out how we can give people access to food pantries, how we can coordinate this to make this work. I don't give a damn about no reparations right now. You talking about 40 acres in a meal, people don't even got 40 cents in their bank account.
Jesus.
Like, we need to have a real conversation. I'm not saying reparations are not important. I'm just saying that's not the priority right now.
Not right now, right?
Let's talk about the priorities. And so there's some people that's just showing that they're out of touch. You want to hold on, arguing with Gavin Newsom? Why are we arguing with Gavin Newsom about reparations? Argue with Gavin Newsom about how many pantries and how prepared he is for this crisis that we're about to have with food insecurity. Like, come on. Republicans are too busy talking about the radical left. Y'all shut that shit up today. Your constituents don't have any food. They're starving. They don't give a fuck about the radical damn left.
But they do.
Because what their spin is that it's the Democrats' fault.
Yeah.
Democrats is the one that's making us.
How is the Democrats' fault when that the Republicans currently got the Senate and the Congress?
Well, listen.
The White House.
You think the people that voted for him understand that what the Senate and the Congress?
I'm going to tell you this though. The people that thought they was going to get a Trump check that they still ain't got though.
Exactly. If they wait for a $2,000 check, you think they understand the Congress?
You can't buy groceries. You ain't got the check.
Shit with that.
The radical left wants to take the trans and take the gays and take the blacks.
All I'm saying is that what's weird to me is that anybody that will still be mad at the Democrats at this point because of this situation are people who just are committed to dying, literally.
Wow.
They are. They're committed to dying. Literally.
They're not
researching. But this is my issue. Why are you still trying to politicize the situation? At that point, you shouldn't give a fuck who. It should be who's in office.
Whoever is going to do
it.
Who's my state rep? Who's my governor? Where's your governor at?
Why have I put in 50 job applications and I still don't have a job? Why?
It's all the Democrats. If the Democrats had that much power, Kamala would have been in office.
All right.
No, for real.
I mean, if the Democrats had so much power, we would at least kept the Senate.
I mean, let's just talk about the ICE presence in urban centers. ICE in urban centers.
I'm just saying they have so I just feel like there's this real weirdness, right? Where in one sense everybody's like, oh, Trump is doing what he's doing. He's taking over everything. The same man that can bring troops to your city should be able to bring food to your city.
Imagine the troops coming with food and supplies and resources that people need during this time.
Right. Where the National Guard at? Because you know National Guard.
That's what they really is supposed to be.
In a state of emergency, right?
Right.
Like I remember, like I grew up in Houston. You know, Hurricane Katrina. It was a whole thing about FEMA and government. Like, you said it was a disaster. Where the food at? And to all of those black voices that was talking about Trump, where they at? Where they at? We ain't seen them. Where did they go? Remember all them that was blowing up all on the TikTok and the Instagram and was on TV telling us about Trump and wearing them hats in the white. Like, where those people go? Oh, there's one denouncing being a Kappa, but he's still mega though.
You talking about Travis Green?
Yes, him. He had a church.
You talking about Travis Green?
Was that Travis Green denounced?
Yeah. He denounced
Travis Green denounced being a Kappa because that's how Travis Green talks.
Yeah, he does. That's crazy because he had an incident as a child.
Everybody says I'm not supposed to do that, but
Well,
oh
did he
well.
Yeah,
denounce that
because he
too?
had an injury as a child.
Did he denounced the person getting an injury before he denounced Kappa? He denounced everything else.
He
But-
said, I don't want to go on your Kappa trips because that's not what God wants.
Because you're gonna be tempted.
Yes.
Oh. Wait, he's not. Wait, he's not.
He's not what?
But what?
He's not gay.
No, he's saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, has a wife and
Has
kids.
a wife and a kid.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
I know that.
You made a way. But Alex, do you have any live before we go to the agenda moving forward? Actually, let's go to the agenda moving forward.
Yeah.
Yes. So the agenda moving forward segment is kind of where we go. It's kind of where we were already headed. It's kind of where we go to say, what now? What next? And we've had the talks. We talked about all the things. Where do we go from here? So the question I want to ask is, how do we hold our communities accountable without fighting? Because what happens is we get to fighting and nobody's hurt anybody. How do we hold everybody accountable without turning on people? How do we hold Kiki accountable? How do we hold Steven accountable? How do we hold Child? I don't even want to say the other names. How do we hold them accountable?
I think what we need to do is not beat around the bush. I don't beat around the bush anymore with people. I give people choices and let them be grown ass adults and decide. And so what that means to me is if they created a harm in a way, let's name the harm. Let's say this is what you did and this is why it hurt. I think sometimes we talk, we do a lot of ad hominem attacks with people who may not immediately understand what's the attack. And so what they'll do is they'll reside into victimhood. They'll say, oh, I was called this, I was called that. And that's true, you was called that. But that's not why we called you that. Let's talk about what you did though. And we never get into the what you did part because we're too busy talking about everything else.
So you mad because I called you a fuck boy, but you not addressing what
cheating and infidelity because we didn't talk about that, right?
Yes,
yes. So we need to talk about what you did. So I spend a lot of time not doing as much name calling. I'm still working on it.
Okay,
but I like to talk more about what people actually did because people, comments is not common anymore. We used to be a time where you could call somebody a fuck boy and people would go, "Oh, okay, I get it." No, people just be oblivious. So I name what people do. That person raped somebody. That person sexually harassed somebody, y'all. That person abused their coworker, y'all. That person disrespected a Black woman, y'all. This person threatened and doxed somebody, y'all. This person stole money from people, y'all. We got to name the thing. Because when we do that, it puts a person in a position to have to be accountable for what they did. Not what we said, but what they did. And when you do that, when you present that, a person has a choice. They can either say, I apologize, I'm sorry, acknowledge what they did, or they can deny it and they can lie. In my book, The Case for Cancel Culture, people will often say to me, don't R. Kelly deserve a second chance? Or isn't there grace and remorse? I said, first of all, y'all putting the cart before the horse. Before we can even get to a part of forgiveness or reconciliation, the person has to acknowledge what they did. R. Kelly has never outright acknowledged and admitted to what he's done. To this day, he continues to make excuses, lie, and everything else. Even though he's been found guilty, he still continues to deny and lie and not hold himself accountable for what he's done.
Robert?
So there will never be any reconciliation that can happen because he hasn't even done the acknowledgement part.
That's good.
I'm not saying that for me, with Jussie, just bringing it back, Jussie just will not actually admit, I did that shit. I'm not saying, look, I don't give a fuck enough to hold it against him and hate him for life. I don't hate the man. I just will never trust him. I just don't trust him personally. Because
Jussie has always maintained his innocence, though. What I will say is,
and R. Kelly has too.
Touche.
A lot of people do. Bill Cosby do too. A lot of people do. Somebody's uncle continues to. Somebody's uncle continues to.
Touche.
The person that stole from me many years ago till their death continues to lie and say they didn't do it.
My God, today.
So I mean, maintaining innocence. Okay, they did. And they still lie. And I still don't believe them. Because I cannot deny the reality of the things that I saw, the things that I know, the things that y'all don't know. Because I reported on that story. I talked to people. I spoke to that man for 3 hours. There are things that he has not fully said to you all. That if y'all knew those things, y'all would go, now wait a minute. It's too many coincidences for me. It's too many coincidences for me. And the reality is that at this point, just be real, right? There's a lot of people we know who just won't be real, right? It's a lot of folks who be like, at this point in the game, we love you. We willing to move on. Just be real about it. And if you don't want to, you want to whatever, fine, right? But this is what I mean by moving, like fine reconciliation. I can say, you know what, on this matter, this person won't be real about it. They won't be honest about it. That's fine. You know what? Forgive them. I'm going to fuck with them from a distance. I'm not necessarily going to trust them as much. But I've learned where I want to be. What I would say about Chris Brown is Chris Brown has acknowledged his past, but there's certain things about Chris Brown that he still won't fully acknowledge. He still ain't addressed some of his own current bullshit. He still want to play the victim on so many levels. He's still in denial about why he is where he's at in the industry. Some of that is him, his own behavior. It ain't all about Rihanna. We got to stop acting like that. Because let me tell you something. If it was just Rihanna, I believe he would have definitely been able to repair himself. But it's been thing after thing after thing after thing. And the arrogance, he's got to acknowledge, yo,
Frank Ocean, Robert Glasper.
You got to own that. Like, I continue to fuck up.
Kalani.
And he won't do that, right? So I just think that we have to, as a collective, right, put people in a position to name the harm and give them the opportunity to admit harm and do better. There are people who've done that. Lizzo do it all the time. You know, Lizzo has done it throughout her career. And I think in many ways, Lizzo has been more than open to having those conversations. Cardi B has done it. When Cardi B fucks up, she acknowledges that. She asks for forgiveness. She explains, and people feel how they feel and they want to do. But like Nicki,
she was just talking about, she recently apologized for talking about that lady's children.
Yeah, she did, right? But Nicki, I find myself in a situation with Nicki where, look, I used to love Nicki when I was younger. I respect her contribution to hip hop, all that. But Nicki continues to deflect and move the goalposts and redirect the shit. She just will never find accountability on where she is. It's everybody else's fault. It's Jay-Z, it's Rock Nation, it's this, it's this. Nicki has done things that we have seen her do that is part of the reason why she's part of this predicament. No one asked you, okay, if you want to defend your pedophile, you know, brother, that's your kin. All right, one chop. But you did a song with Tekashi 6ix9ine, who right around that time, Fifi, okay, that's another chop. Now Kenneth Petty, look, you could have been with him. That's a choice. But then to be accused of harassing his victim and to go out your way to get in the middle of that shit, what we doing here?
You're not about to have the barb. You about to have the barbs on us.
But that's the problem too, right? The barbs, right? Is this the best? Every single time Cardi drops an album or do something, she's always having a psychosis. She's always acting out. It's so predictable. I literally told my friends, Nicki been quiet, y'all. Cardi about to drop this album. And what's funny was Cardi talked about other girls. She wasn't even talking about Nicki. I was like, ooh, that might be peace, y'all. They're focused on something else. No, she got to enter the chat. She's so predictable. The fact that I can predict her reactions and her moves.
Not only that,
I can predict her actions and her moves. It's like that tells you that, is it Rock Nation or is it you? The fact that I can pinpoint it. If Cardi gets another Grammy for this album,
which she will,
she potentially can. I mean, because I think all the major competitors are going to be coming up in this year. She's next year, so she got a whole year in the tour to push this new project. And Kendrick done already dropped a lot of the major rappers, so competition going to be real small. So she
They got
might be
Doja probably in the pop category.
Doja gonna be in the pop category. I mean, Doja might drop another album, but I don't know how that's gonna play out.
Meg is Meg. My man.
So I don't really know what competition Cardi's gonna really have. So I do think there's a high chance now that Cardi could win the following year in 2027 when she has that full year to promote. But that being said, we already can predict where that's gonna go.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. The Grammys did not bang with Nicki long before Cardi came into the mix based on that performance she did with Roman's Revenge, where she did the Catholicism rock like that. She been had her drama.
Not only with Nicki though, like one thing about her fans, and then we gotta go. We gotta get up out of here, right? We've got it. We've given y'all an amazing pod, so make sure that you are liking, make sure you are commenting, make sure you are subscribing, make sure that you are spending some digital cash with us, right? And when I say digital cash, I don't necessarily mean you giving us money. I mean you like giving us your likes, your comments, your reviews, and all of that. But one thing I do want to acknowledge about that.
About the barbs? Yeah.
About the barbs. I want you to support the Black Gay Agenda. I want you to support another conversation because you support the Black Gay Agenda and because you support another conversation. I don't want you to support it in spite of. And one thing that I've noticed is, why is it that whenever Meg drops a random Nicki single, shoots up to the top 5, right? Whenever Cardi drops a random single or album, shoots up to the top 5. It's really weird to me. It's like, so when I go, so we all know that Meg dropped this past week her song, Lover Girl, not a great song to me, but
it's okay.
The number 2 hip hop song was like, or the number 2 or number 3 hip hop song behind her was a random Nicki song from like 10 years ago.
And it's never going to chart on Billboard. Like, these songs never chart on Billboard. Like, what's that song she just did? The one, I forget, Wins or Winner or whatever they were trying to push heavy.
To win. That's an old song. To fly. That one?
I don't think that was a song. That wasn't the song. It was another song.
That popped back up into the...
Well, yeah, but there was another song and it just did not hit. Because the thing is that the support is only on iTunes, and iTunes charts are very fickle. Like every 30 seconds, they change the routine. And so those screenshots, and then I'll go on iTunes, I'm like, oh, that's not there anymore, y'all. Like, because it's like a speed joke. It's like generated by bots and fans, but like none of this stuff actually impacts the Billboard. So like none of them songs have actually, in this recent trend, has actually gotten to the Billboard list. Like Cardi's album is still in the top 10 and it's still top play.
But that's because of Rock Nation.
No, it's because of the fact that people like me actually I downloaded it. I got the vinyl. I don't open the vinyls. I actually buy the music, and I actually got tickets. Like my husband and our friends, we got 4 like tickets on the first rows in Houston to see her. Like you can't manufacture that. Like, I mean, look, Nicki got her fans. They definitely showed up for Pink Friday too. They went to the show and the concert. I just feel like that's the problem, though. It's like we always feel like there has to be only one. That's the issue I've had with Nicki. Nicki acts like there only has to be one. Like, my thing is, you have established yourself on the throne. That's what I love about Beyonce. Beyonce, I'll give her that. Beyonce's not competing because she says you can't compete where you don't compare.
Come on,
Beyonce's not competing
with Victoria Monet.
She's not competing with her. That's manufactured. Beyonce's in a lane of her own. See, that's the problem about people and numbers and stats. When you've been in the game for 25 years, the longevity is what they need to reach. I love one day when Mariah said something about Ariana Grande when they was making those comparisons. She said, I hope that she one day can have the longevity that I have, and I wish her well. That's how you're supposed to be when you're at that level. With Nicki, Nicki should have said when she heard about Cardi and all this, she says, I'm happy that Cardi is doing her thing, and I wish her well, and I wish that she will have the longevity of my career and the success that I have. And guess what the joke is? Most of these girls, 90% of these girls never do. So while like she lost her mind over Iggy Azalea, I never forget the whole rant she did about Iggy. And Iggy had a little moment and Iggy went away. So you wasted all that energy. And when Cardi was on delay with her album, she gave you 7 years, Nikki, to come back and do what you did. And you really didn't make that comeback. Cardi was out the way for 7 years. Now you want to drop another album. Now you dropping your album date in March because she didn't drop her album date. You could have been did that.
Oh, it's so
it's just reactive. You're losing right now. You're losing because as a winner, winners do not respond to people that they feel are inferior to them. You shouldn't base your whole strategy, and your fan base should not base their own strategy based on a person they think they're weaker. If you think you're better than somebody, you don't care when they drop, you don't care what they do.
Right. You don't care what they do. It doesn't impact you.
Beyonce does not care what any girl do. They be like, oh, this is the year. Taylor about to drop her album. Taylor about to do this. She does not care. She literally had her tour. She had her album. She dropped Cowgirl Carter. She did her movie. Look, remember Taylor Swift dropped her movie? She dropped her movie in December. They both went #1 on the charts. The fans both went up for it. And they went to each other's tour for their movies. Queens can win. Beyonce doesn't have any peers in her mind. Taylor Swift knows where she is in that pecking order. Nicki should know where she's at on the hip hop and stop fighting, because the fact that she's giving these girls that much life and attention is validating them in ways that they shouldn't be validated. You know how many girls have thrown shots at Beyonce over the years and Beyonce just went past it? How many R&B girls
baby
doing shit? And guess what Beyonce did? Beyonce went and said, who, what? I wish Nicki would learn from somebody that she's one of the only artists to have a collaboration. She's the only, next to Meg, she's one of the only female rappers to have a collab with Beyonce. Not one, but two. You ain't learned nothing from this legend. You ain't learned shit from her. You ain't learned how to hold it and fold it.
No, because she's
how
too busy.
You know Jay-Z and all these legends. Do you see Jay-Z and them sweating over all these dudes and these rappers coming in? Do you see them beefing and comparing themselves to Kendrick and shit? Like, come on.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not
so
at
that's
all.
a disappointment for her. What a waste. What a shame. She got talent, but what's squandering it? Her legacy is now going to be jaded now with all this bullshit.
All because of that. So with that being said, with the fighting, and that's what we were talking about in that last segment, with the fighting and all of that, what do you think authentic allyship looks like? And then after that, once we give that, then we'll go out. So on that last note, authentic allyship, we talked about the fighting. How do we get it together?
I think that authentic allyship looks like people, both sides, right? I don't like the word allyship. I like accomplice, but words at this point, what's the point, right? I get what you mean. I would say it's a two-way street. I think that those who are seeking allyship need to be mindful and realistic in the expectation they have for those they're seeking allyship from. I can't tell you how many times I have seen folks in our community ask of things from those they're looking for allyship from that I feel like are either unrealistic, not fair, or not necessarily a need, but a desire that may not necessarily fix the issues, right? We can't make every straight person that we encounter is not going to necessarily show up in all of the ways that we want.
Exactly.
I want respect. I want dignity. I want you to move the fuck out my way when it comes to the things that I need. I don't need you to co-sign, to kiss, to post. I don't need you to do all of that. Because you can do that part and still don't do the thing I need you to do, right? So I need right now, as a queer person, right, as a Black queer person from other folks in the community, is to let me exist. I don't need you to agree. I just need you to let me exist. I need you to move out my way. I don't need you to personally, have a change of mind. I need you just to simply acknowledge, because there's a lot of people out here in the world that I don't agree with a lot of shit they do. There's a lot of shit that straight folks be doing and the way they live and the stuff they do. I don't agree with it, right? Personally, I think it's problematic, some of the stuff that they be doing and how they raise their kids and shit, right? But I say, you know what? That ain't my problem.
Right.
But you know what? I'm going to respect your right to exist. I'm going to
Mhm.
respect your right to choose. I'm going to expect your right to marry who you want to marry, how you want to do. There's a saying that I used to say in the South. We listen to a song, it used to be called Do What You, it was like, I forget, I think it's called Watch My Shoes. And the lyric will go, do what you do, but watch my shoes. You can get loose, but watch my shoes.
Mhm.
I want people to do what they do, but watch my shoes. Because when I do what I do, I'm trying to watch your shoes. I'm not trying to step on your shoes. I'm not trying to disrespect you. So don't disrespect me. I think we need to go back to the basics of just general respect. Too many
Yes.
people want reverence. They want people to live for them, to go up for them. How can they go up for you if they don't even see you?
Right.
I need people to see me as a person and respect me and give me my dignity and my respect. If we can get to that, maybe we can have a conversation about giving me my 10s. But I don't need my allies to give me my 10s. I don't need them to do all that for me. I need them to simply respect me. And what that means is not getting in the way when I need my rights, when I need to live my life, to get a job, to get housing, to get opportunity. I don't need you being the barrier to entry. I don't need you being a gatekeeper to my opportunities. I need you to let me be an equal opportunity participant in democracy. So I want
Yes.
respect. That's it. Because I think the problem is that we moved the goalposts too soon. We was like, oh, I need you to acknowledge me on this day. I need you to acknowledge Pride Day. I need you to put a rainbow flag in your office. I need you to go to this event. I need you to acknowledge.
Symbolism.
It's a symbolism. And I
It's
don't,
symbolism.
and I understand that there's people that want that, right? But be clear what you want. You can want that from your parents, but don't want that from a stranger.
Right.
You
I think
want
the
your
most
parents to
thing.
come to your gay marriage, but you shouldn't make the rest of the world expect them to do all of that, right? It would be nice, but is that the necessity? We need to get our necessities first. We still have not gotten equal protections federally for LGBTQ people. We don't got the Equality Act passed.
Right.
All these people with their flags, Cory Booker, all these senators and Congress people, I need y'all to get the Equality Act passed. And if we can get that passed, then let's talk about the other extra things you can do. But we haven't even got the bare essentials passed. That's why when I hear people talk about reparations, Black folks, we got people right now losing HBCUs. We're losing funding for HBCUs. We're losing African-American museums. We're losing the things they promised us. So how can we ask them the things they didn't promise us?
Yeah, I think that was one of the major things that one of my major critiques about the Democratic Party as well is all of the symbolism and not listening to what we're asking for, right? So there was a lot of things that we said and and alluded to during that time that they didn't listen to. They gave us Juneteenth as a holiday, and they did a lot of things that we didn't ask for, and they gave it to a symbolism and made us think that it was a win. But on that note, we're gonna get out of here. That was the agenda moving forward. That's how we're gonna do it. The keys was what? Allyship, listening to what we ask for, right? And that's how we're gonna move forward, listening to each other, relating to each other, and that's how you be an ally with somebody, and that's how we're moving forward. What I want to do actually now, Ernest, tell the people where they can find you, your book, all of that good stuff.
So The Case for Cancel Culture, How This Democratic Tool Works to Liberate Us All, can be found wherever books are sold. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. You can get anywhere. This book
Is it Audible? Is it on Audible?
And it is an audio book. And if you like the way I sound, I'm not as loud, but if you want to hear my lovely voice and hear me read this book for 6 hours and some change, you can do that as well. It's on Kindle. It's on Audible. It's everywhere. So you can
Great
get this
book, y'all.
It's a great book. Thank you. Yes.
It's a great book, y'all.
Thank you. And also, I'm everywhere. ErnestOwens.com. Google. You can just Google me. I come up.
Period.
I'm on all the social media handles. I'm not on TikTok. I hate TikTok. But I'm on Threads at Mr. Ernest Owens, on Threads, on Twitter and Instagram. It's not hard to find me. You go to ErnestOwens.com. All of my social handles are there. My website, all the stuff I got going on. If you want to book the doll for speaking engagements, paid gigs and opportunities, my agent is listed as well. So you can contact him to book me, and I got a lot of stuff coming up in stores very soon. Stay tuned. This baby might have a sibling, maybe,
Right.
sibling very soon, because I just have to, I'm a Libra. I got to have balance in the scales. This is a little, it's kind of weird right here, just being right here. I got to have I gotta have another one. So
Need a companion.
maybe V2 might be on the way very soon. But until then, this book is available now.
Awesome. Micah, tell the people where they can find you at, sir.
Yeah, find me at It's Micah B. That's it. It's Micah B. That's all you know. We've belabored the time enough. So follow me, tap in, make sure that you leave that rating and review. That's all I got. Until next time.
So next time, same here. You know where to find me, Xander T82. That's Instagram. That is TikTok. That is X. That's where I am. So with that, we're gonna get out of here. We thank you so much for being our guest tonight.
Thank you.
What we're gonna say, grab your purses and clutch your pearls. This has been the Black Agenda. Y'all have a good night.